don't know when I'm supposed to come in. This is new music to me. But, hey, welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Glenn Clark Show. Obviously, I am not Glenn Clark. I am KZ, Ken Zalis. Where am I from? I'm from Fantasy Pros, but still dabble here in the halls of PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. Griff here as always. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ken. How are you?
I'm good. Congratulations to the team from Michigan.
Yeah.
The Wolverines take the national championship game. Kind of a blowout in the end of the day. Washington had one chance in this game, and that was to stop the run, and they failed in dramatic fashion. I think they had over 300 yards rushing. And Washington, the story of the game is the missed opportunities by Washington. Washington had some opportunities to, make a big splash play, and Penix, who was dealing, obviously, the entire game with a multitude of injuries, just couldn't connect on a couple of those passes to some wide-open wide receivers. And what turned out, at halftime, with Washington getting the ball back only down 7, and thought it could be a game if they scored, and turned in the end to be a rather handy, easy, undefeated season-ending win for the Michigan Wolverines. So congratulations to them. I hope there is one more championship in the future of the Harbaugh family.
In this calendar year, yeah.
It'd be nice. As it's been weird here in Baltimore. Quite frankly, I don't know what day of the week it is because this past Sunday was such a nothing game. I mean, it just
Saturday. Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah, I don't even know what day it was. It had a preseason feel, and congratulations to the Pittsburgh Steelers for winning the game, getting into the playoffs because they needed some help, and they got the help rather early on Sunday from the Tennessee Titans as they took down the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they get to go to what I'm hearing is going to be snowy Buffalo, without T.J. Watt. From all accounts, I'm hearing he wants to play. I'm hearing since
he's a Watt, I'm not going to rule him out until
I'm not going to rule him out
90 minutes before the game.
I'm not going to rule him out, but every professional is saying that this is at minimum a 2 to 3 week injury. Now, can they, shoot him up, tape him up, put a brace on it? He's not going to be 100%, but I don't like their chances without him. Let's put it that way. He is one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and it's unfortunate. I don't like to see guys get hurt. I hate it when I saw Chubb get hurt in the Miami game at the end of the game. Why he was in the game, I don't know. But I don't like when the superstars get hurt, especially going into the playoffs. You want to see teams at their best, with their best. Even if somebody got hurt early, that's fine. They've adjusted to that. You look at the Cleveland Browns, for example, and I know we're probably going to talk a lot about them over the days and weeks to come because, that may or may not be as, the matchup depending on how things fall out. But you look like Nick Chubb. He goes out early. Cleveland's adjusted to playing without him. That's not the type of injury. It's the injuries in week 16 and 17 that it's tough to overcome. And, Ravens have done some of that as well, with some of their guys going out, with Dobbins going out and then Mitchell going out. But they've adjusted to that.
Andrews, yeah.
Mark Andrews. And, that'll be a big question, all the secrecy around Andrews and whether, he will be available for the playoffs and at what point, do they need them to get to the Super Bowl in order for him to be active? Things like that. But we'll see. I mean, they've played really well without him. Isaiah Likely has really stepped up to be, dynamic.
Yeah.
Maybe even more dynamic.
Careful.
Can we say that?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I've heard whispers. like, he brings something that Andrews doesn't. It's like, well, yeah, but we are still talking about Mark Andrews. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. You rather play with him than without him.
Still more dynamic than about half the team's tight ends in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Figure out how to use them both at the same time. So we got that. We're gonna, Griff was very nice to me. You eased me back in. I haven't done this in a long time. So he brought some friends on today to help me out. Syreeta Hubbard, the NFL chick, will join us, I believe, in the 10 o'clock hour.
Yes, in about 15 minutes.
About 15 minutes. And then Femi Ayanbadejo will join us at the 11 o'clock hour. Both people part of Project Gameday, which we didn't do this week. Wasn't really worth it. What were we going to say? I mean, I loved how hard they played. I really did.
They got out clean, right?
They got out clean for the most part. I mean, look, when guys aren't, I guess, taken to the locker room after they had a nick or something, you kind of think that it may not be that serious. And if it was a more important game, they probably could have gone back in. I think Geno Stone was the biggest one, maybe a concussion for Urban. I didn't really see anything else that came across. The big thing for me is where Hamilton is in all this. It's a lot of secrecy. Don't know. This is the second time he's had a little issue with the knee, and he came back really quick from the first time, and you got to love youth. But now it's the second time, so we don't really know what's going on there, and the Ravens don't tell us, and that's fine. I would expect him to be out there in 2 weeks. But looking forward to Wild Card Weekend.
Oh, yeah. It's always Super Wild Card
Super Wild Card Weekend. I forgot they call it Super Wild Card Weekend now. I like the conspiracy theory about putting the Kansas City Chiefs on Peacock, so all the Taylor Swifties will have to buy Peacock to watch the football game. That was pretty funny. It's supposed to be -2 in Kansas City.
Wow. You can't put Taylor in that weather.
Well, I'm not worried about Taylor.
I'm worried about her.
Miami may not like that weather. I mean, you would think. I mean, I don't think either team's going in with a ton of confidence the way they're playing right now, and who knows who's going to be back for Miami. They're really beat up on both sides of the ball. They lost more players this past weekend. They're going to be without Howard. I don't know if they have linebackers left.
Yeah,
they don't have rush ends.
Was Van Ginkel? How bad was his injury?
I think they said he's out, and then the guy they just came back, Baker, the other linebacker, he's out. He broke his wrist or something. So they're in a whole heap of trouble. The good news is that Kansas City isn't as, I guess, explosive as they once were.
Right.
They've struggled this year scoring points, and the best part of their team this year has been their defense. Mahomes has been terrible. I can say that from a fan. Fantasy football's over. I know the playoffs are here. That's fine. You do that for fun. This isn't the real fantasy football time. So I don't know what to make of that game, but that should be fun. What's the game of the week for you?
I guess just because Joe Flacco's gonna be playing in it, has to be the first game of the weekend. Cleveland at Houston.
Should be a good
CJ
one.
Stroud versus Joe Flacco.
I like it.
I think
I like it.
Hard to. I mean, I guess probably the game of the week is the Sunday night game. The Matthew Stafford coming back to Detroit. The Rams Lions.
That's the game. I think
that is the game.
I think Cleveland and Houston is going to be fun. I think it's a interesting matchup. Because it's in Houston, and that defense has played much better as of late. And C.J. Stroud's good. He's just good. But they're missing some pieces as well. Is Cleveland the one team you don't want to see in Baltimore?
Probably. I mean, yeah, just because I mean, when Joe gets here, it's gonna feel so weird, and I don't know, because he's Joe Flacco.
Who cares?
He's
the enemy. He's the enemy.
Joe Flacco was so good to this city for a decade. It's hard to say
but
that he's Darth Vader now, and he's the villain.
We've traded up. We got to a more modern model. We go back.
I agree. We're in a better place now. But
I just I always go back, and I sort of selfishly hope that it is Cleveland, because still one of the most historic rants and discussions ever was when they drafted Lamar Jackson, and Glenn and I went just at it for an hour about it because he was against it. And he's turned now. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you have to.
But at that point, he was concerned, like, what's the plan if we're doing this? I was like, the plan is you're going to start a younger quarterback because Flacco hadn't been good. We forget about that.
Yeah.
We forget about that. Historic. Super Bowl. Great. Fantastic. At the end of it, he wasn't good. He just wasn't good, and he needed to be replaced. And they drafted the right guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they got it right. I mean, we give the organization a lot of grief sometimes about the draft, but it's the one thing they got right. I mean, we can't argue about that. They saw an opportunity to get a top-tier quarterback, and they went and got it. And Joe Flacco, look, after he left Baltimore, he wasn't good. Now, is that because he went to the Jets?
And the Broncos?
Maybe.
The Broncos.
No, I mean, these teams weren't – he hadn't played good football. He's playing great now. But get it out. All of Baltimore, stop. He's the enemy. Once he takes off the Browns uniform again and retires, we all love Joe. Put him in the Ring of Honor. But get this. I'm so tired of this.
Maybe that's what they should do.
Such a good story.
Kind of psych him out of his own head and be like, "Oh, we're putting you in the Ring of Honor tonight, right before he plays."
It's Joe Flacco. I hope he falls on his face.
No,
I do. I hope he fails.
I mean,
I hope he's terrible. This what day are they playing Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah.
I hope he's terrible Saturday. I hope they get bounced. And then if they do win and they come to Baltimore, they're going to get bounced here.
It's basically it probably is the game that like the winner of this game is who the Ravens see. Do we feel that way? The Houston.
I mean,
Cleveland
I don't see Miami going into sub-zero Kansas City and winning, and I certainly don't see Pittsburgh going into Buffalo and winning.
Yeah.
So I would think. I mean, you never know what happens. I mean, it's why they play the games every week.
Right.
We get a surprise here and there. You know, if Pittsburgh goes into Buffalo and plays a clean game and runs the ball, and Allen turns the ball over 3 times like he did this past week, I mean, Miami just couldn't take advantage of it. Usually you turn the ball over 3 times in a game, you don't win that game. But Miami was just awful, and they've been awful for 3 out of 4 weeks now. Cost themselves the division. I mean, they had that division sewn up. I mean, it was sewn up a month ago.
Them and the Eagles. I mean, I guess the Eagles didn't really have the division tied up like the Dolphins did, but like they both, just the way that they both fell off.
Where's Serpico? Where's Serpico?
I think we're gonna try to catch up with him tomorrow.
Where's him?
What's
he doing? No, what's he doing right now? What the hell is that? I mean, nobody saw this coming from Philadelphia.
No.
They lost 5 out of 6?
They were 10-1 after they beat. Was that after they beat Kansas City?
Yeah.
So they're 1-5.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, people want to point to their schedule that was kind of cupcakey early, but look at the team. They got killed by the Giants. The Giants stink. I mean, not only did they get killed by the Giants, they got killed by the Giants, and they knocked out Tyrod during the game, and Danny DeVito or whatever, Tommy DeVito came in and came in and won that. It's just crazy what's happening in Philadelphia. I mean, their fans are actually talking about like firing the coach after the season. He took them to the Super Bowl last year. They were like minutes away from possibly winning the Super Bowl.
How long did it take them to fire Doug Peterson after winning the Super Bowl?
Like a year.
They're impatient over there. I mean, losing to the Cardinals. I feel like the Cardinals one is somewhat. I don't know, but just because of the Jonathan Gannon coming in and having that revenge, I guess, of bringing his team into Philly and beating his former team. But the Eagles do not look right. They can't stop. Their defense is no good anymore.
Defense isn't good. The offense. I mean, their quarterback got hurt. Hurts got hurt.
Yeah, that's
injured.
Right. His finger. Gnarly.
I mean, dislocated. Obviously, looks worse than it is.
I can't imagine looking down and seeing
AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I got yelled at one time. One of my softball kids popped out their pinky, and I just popped it into place, and I got yelled at. I'm like,
what are you supposed to do?
It was a pinky. What do you want me to do? My trainer yelled at me, "You're not supposed to do that." It's like,
Because the trainer's supposed to do it?
yeah, but the
Oh,
trainer
okay.
wasn't at the game.
Oh.
I was like, I was like, I need that player for the game. So,
Well done. Good job.
yeah, but what else is going on in the world of sports? What should we talk about? Terps?
Where's Harbaugh going to go? Do we wanna
he's
talk about the
going.
Terps?
He's going. Why? What's wrong with the Terps?
They're not good.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
We thought they would be good. I mean, they had a decent recruiting class, right?
Yeah. The freshmen have not really performed up to.
Well, neither have the guys that came back.
they're-
To be honest, I mean, you thought Scott was going to be, like a leader on the team. He's been awful.
Play like he's played for 6 years. Has not.
Yeah, I think look. Harbaugh's going to the NFL. I'd be stunned if he doesn't go to the NFL. He's going to make more money in the NFL, no matter what Michigan is offering him. He's now got his national championships. There's nothing left to prove in there. Never a better time to leave if you're going to give the NFL a chance. This is his last chance to give them a chance. Dude missed 6 games because he was suspended twice. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I would think, if I was advising him, before he gets suspended again, I'd go. I'd go. I mean, he's suspended twice.
Yeah, but I think you would think he learned, right? What was it? Was recruiting infractions the first one?
Well, wasn't the first one with the quote unquote rogue assistant. That
It's Connor Stallions
going on the sidelines.
Well, that was the second one. I thought
That was the second one.
Yeah, because they took him forever to be like, oh, this was wrong, and finally come down with punishment.
This was wrong. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good little bit, as Glenn would say, that dress up like you're a coach on that team and stand
That
on the
one,
sidelines.
yeah.
I like that. I enjoyed that. So, but hey, what you gonna do?
He's gonna go West Coast again, I guess. It's either Chargers or Raiders. It feels like.
I think the Raiders are gonna stick with Pierce.
I think they should.
I think they should. I mean,
I
they
guess-
played hard for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got. I mean, that's part of it. Like, do you make it even a worse situation if you go outside and don't hire him? Because obviously the team
Right.
wants him. I mean, they have quarterback issues. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell is the guy. I don't know.
Don't think so.
Jimmy isn't. So I don't know. I don't know who the guy. They have a quarterback issue, but I would think he could go to Washington. Wouldn't that be fun?
Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Be close. Yeah, that'd be.
I mean, they play each other in the preseason every year. Have the holidays together. I mean, it'd be fun.
Yeah, I guess that would be.
I mean, could that be like
because then you got the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Was he gonna take JJ McCarthy with the number 2 pick?
I don't know. I don't know who the number 1 pick is right now. So
It's got to be.
doesn't
Caleb.
have to be.
It's got to be Caleb Williams.
Doesn't have to be.
After what Michigan's defense did Penix fall significantly after what Michigan did last night?
I don't think Penix is as high as the college football fan thinks he is in the draft.
I thought he looked really good last week.
You can't base it off of 1 week. I think there's a couple of things with Penix. How do I say this? He reminds me of Baker Mayfield. Okay? Baker Mayfield threw the ball all over the place in college. You thought he was fantastic. You thought he was a can't-miss guy coming into the NFL. He had everything. And then when you looked at the tape a little closer, you're like, there's some things in his game he needs to improve. Penix does not move well in the pocket. Penix does not like to be off his spot. That's a concern in the NFL. You have to be able to be a little bit mobile and throw while you're mobile. He's hesitant to run a little bit, and that's fine. There are lots of quarterbacks like that are hesitant to run. I mean, C.J. Stroud doesn't like to run. Look what he's done. But I don't think Penix is as high as a lot of people would think he would be in draft circles. Could be wrong. It only takes one team to fall in love with you, but he wouldn't be in my top 4 quarterbacks.
Is he a first rounder right now?
I think because of the premium of the quarterback position, probably end of the first round would be my guess. But I don't see, obviously Williams is going above him.
It's like somebody trading back into the first round
Could
potentially.
be.
How Penix goes.
Could be. I mean, you could, or you could be a team like Tampa, and you could just sit there and say, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe Baker for another year. Maybe we can sign him for a year, and then we can turn it over to Penix and see what we have. I know I just said that he reminds me of Baker, but just thinking when you said trade back in, is there a team down there that's going to be picking in the 20s that could look at the quarterback position? Tampa, I mean, I think it's fair. They're going to have some turnover. They're getting a little, long in the tooth with some of their receivers. They could use, I don't know that Baker is the long-term plan there. If Penix was the fourth quarterback off the board, okay, I could go there. I think Daniels and Williams and May all go before him. But then he's there. But there are some questions about Penix, and if you watch the game, one of those questions are his health and how durable he is. It's a guy coming off of multiple knee issues season-ending issues when he was in Indiana. Had 2 great years at Washington, but you look at how he finished last night. He definitely has an ankle issue. He may have a broken rib. I don't know. I mean, looked like he could barely stand up at the end of the day. So we'll see. We'll see where. I mean, probably a first rounder. I don't. For people that were getting all excited about maybe him being a top 10 pick, I don't think he's a top 10 pick. And I don't know. Somebody's got to sell me on the Michigan quarterback if he comes out.
He looks like Ryan Tannehill to me.
Yes, yeah. At best. Yeah. At best. Another guy doesn't really like to have people in his face. Did make a really good run.
Yeah, he did.
Are we breaking first, or are we going?
We will go to our next guest.
To our next guest.
Yes.
The only guest. She is Syreeta Hubbard, the NFL chick. I'd promote all the things she's on, but I don't have all day. What's up, Syreeta?
Oh, good morning, KZ.
Good morning. I mean, seriously. I mean, you're everywhere. I mean, just everywhere. So I don't.
I think I'm cooling down a little bit, friend.
I don't know, but I can't go on social media and not see your face, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's not. I mean, there are worse things to see, but no.
It's true. This is true.
All love. How are you, my dear?
I can't complain. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Let's talk a little bit about the Steeler game first, because it was really weird to me watching the game because it just so didn't matter in any sense of the word. I was every play I was watching our tackles on offense and making sure they were okay.
You're right.
Because they were in there a long time. I didn't expect Stanley or Moses to play as long as they did.
Hey, man, listen, I was surprised by that because I think in the second half, I think I saw Stanley still, and I was like, so, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. And it's funny because I saw a stat yesterday where Huntley had, the second most available, time in the pocket yesterday. So I guess they fared well. I mean, you got to, I guess that's a good thing. I definitely don't understand why you had them out there in them type of conditions after a certain period of time. But I guess they're like, look, we got to make sure that we're not rusty for the playoffs. So luckily for the Ravens, they didn't have any major injuries, unlike the Steelers. So, you got to take that as a win, I guess, the fact that everybody came out. And then he's saying that appears that people will be ready for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, that was the biggest thing. Everybody come out healthy, and it even appeared to me that, the guys that got banged up outside of the concussion, obviously with Urban. But, I think if it was a important game, Stone probably would have come back in the game. He didn't go into the
Mhm.
locker room, things like that. So yeah, they're going to be as healthy as they ever have. And for anybody that, the whole, conversation of rest versus rust type thing, TJ Watt is example number one.
Yep.
I
Facts.
look, you feel horrible. Look, we don't like the Steelers, but we also are football fans. I don't like superstars getting hurt, especially going
Yeah.
into the
Same.
playoffs. Especially going into playoffs, it sucks. It sucks. But that's why for all the Ravens fans are like, oh, we remember 2019 and they were off for 2 weeks and then they played like garbage and blah blah blah. Yeah, but TJ Watt. And that's the end of the
Yep.
That's the end of the conversation. Or go back a week before in a blowout and go to Chubb, and it's
Yep.
like Miami has no pass rush anymore. They look awful.
Nope.
They
Yep.
looked awful against
Miami.
Buffalo.
Miami is done.
They're done.
Okay.
I agree. We just said
I
that.
don't care if Waddle comes out and plays next
No,
week.
no.
He's not going to be 100%.
Their
Because
defense is their defense is in ruins.
the defense is in ruins. They've lost two of their guys, their pass rushers. So that's it. Again, Tyreek Hill can only do but so much. The tight end can only do but so much. Even like I said, if Waddle comes back, high ankle sprain for a wide receiver is a lot to play on. So I just don't see that happening. But yeah, Miami to me is an interesting part. I don't really understand why Chubb was still in at that point of the game, because I think right around that time they pulled Tua and was like, all right,
They pulled him on the series before and they fumbled.
Right.
And then Chubb's still out there. I'm like, what? Yeah. When he went down, because I don't know if you were still in the stadium at that point. I'm in the stadium and I turned to the person next to me. I go, that is a bad coaching decision if he's seriously hurt. And it's like, I was a little surprised. I mean, I know we all love the Miami coach and good sound bites and seems like they cool, but they were all he did not take as much heat as I thought he was going to, because that's a terrible decision. You had pulled your offensive stars, but you didn't pull your defensive stars. Come on.
Right. Exactly. I was just kind of like, hey, I'm not really sure what was happening here and why you decided to do that, but now you paid for it, and like you said, now it's like you have no pass rush. So I did look. For a while, they got to Josh Allen, but eventually, because they don't have the depth anymore, it eventually just kind of wore them down, and that's just kind of how that went. So I agree with you back to your original point, which is Russ versus Russ. And look, I want us to divorce 2019. I want us to act like that didn't exist. I know that that's hard. That's even hard for me, KZ. It is, because you get PTSD when stuff like this. But this is such a different football team than 2019. That team was incredibly young with a couple of veterans sprinkled here and there. Now Lamar is 6 years in, is 6 seasons in. There's a nice mix of veteran leadership as well as the youth. So I just don't even think that that's something that I would be concerned about. I get the concern. I do, because they have played at such a high level against huge opponents, and you want to keep that momentum going. And remember, I was the person when we were doing the post game. I wasn't a fan of necessarily if I wasn't against if they didn't get the number one seed. I wasn't against it. But then when you start looking at all of these injuries, I'm like, I don't care, man. Maybe I'm wrong here. Hopefully the momentum will continue when they play in a couple of weeks. But until then, just leave your starters out.
Yeah, just leave them out. I mean, I got where you were coming from. I really did, because look, I mean, 2019 wasn't too long ago. It just wasn't, and we remember, and this year feels a little bit like that, because they're so dominant, and but in other ways, like you mentioned, it doesn't, because there's so many veterans and there's so many guys that you rely upon. And the biggest thing for me is that the offensive and defensive coordinators that we have right now have really proven to me this year that they are willing and able to make in-game adjustments on the fly. And that's the biggest thing. The 2019 game against Tennessee, they had their game plan and they went away from it, and they didn't know how. They didn't have anything to go to, and on
Mhm.
either side of the ball. I mean, they're just, it is what it is. I mean, Roman was what he was, and
Yep.
if you were good enough to win that day with playing his style, great. But if you weren't, they really didn't have a plan B, and when they went to plan B, they didn't know how to execute plan B because they weren't used to
Right.
doing it.
Yep.
And on the defensive side to a degree as well. It's one way, and this is how I play defense, and that's what we're going to do all game long, no matter what the other team is doing to us. I've been very impressed this year with McDonald and Moncton. That they make adjustments and they don't wait until halftime. They make adjustments on the fly, and I think that's something that's been really missing from the team overall, and why
Mhm.
I don't have that that 2019 hangover still with me. I
Yep.
think this team will adjust if something isn't going their way, where I don't think they had the ability to do that back in 2019.
I agree with that. And the thing is like they were very young, or inexperienced when it came to the passing game. Look, they were running the football obviously incredibly well. We all knew that. But when you look at the guys that they had in terms of like, yeah, Willie Snead was in the league for a few years, but he was a viable, I don't know, three in New Orleans, and then Seth Roberts and Marquise Brown was a rookie.
Right.
I mean, what did you really expect? And yes, we know that Mark Andrews was in his second year, but I mean, he's also in his second year, just like Lamar. So there was some experience there that was missing, and I think that now this is just a completely different situation. So I definitely was one of the people that was concerned, and until they play, it's still going to kind of sit in the back of my mind.
Right.
But in
Right.
terms of like what they are going to do in terms of, oh, is this 2019 all over again? I would not compare the two. Even if they do come out a little rusty, I still wouldn't compare the two, because I think that the dynamic of this team, like you said, from the coaching to even now to the personnel, is completely different, and what it is that they do with the football. So we gotta let that go. I understand it's hard, it's not easy, but we gotta let it
You
go.
do, and the one thing, your point about Lamar was a great one. I mean, second year, first time doing, going through that with that kind of pressure at home. He's a completely different guy now. I mean, he is so in command of this offense, and it's his offense. They have he has for all the people that say, oh well, he just goes up to the line and runs the play that's called. Like, no, he doesn't anymore. He is in total control of this offense. And I don't know if you've had a chance to listen, but he was on Let's Go the other night with Tom Brady, um, and just the confidence and the focus that he speaks with during that show. He was just like, the question was, what are you going to do on the off week? He goes, I'm going to study every team that we can possibly play and know everything about them. I mean, it was just like
hmm
it wasn't even a pause. Well, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to get healthy. Nope, I'm locked in and I'm studying everybody because
Yep.
and it was such a it was the type of answer that you love to hear
Yep.
because that's what you want. I mean, yeah, you
Yep.
can have a couple days off to get some treatment and get your mind and body right, but start looking about who you could play. And
Yep.
you want your quarterback to be that guy, and he's turned into that guy. And this offense has been a breath of fresh air for him to be able to be the quarterback that he really was coming out of college. I mean,
Yep. And you and I knew that.
we
You
knew
and I,
that.
but
We've been
we've
on
always.
that all the time. It's like,
Yep.
I get it that the team was scared and they brought in Roman because they use, look, you got a unique quarterback and a unique player like Lamar. You use what we think is his best skill, but they set him back. They set him back a couple of years by not
Yeah.
allowing him to be a quarterback
I agree.
in every sense of the word. And now you are seeing a quarterback, and all those people that had all these things to say, like he can't throw deep. Well,
Well, that was never true to begin with.
well, it was never
So
it was never true, but that was something that people would use. You don't hear it anymore because he's hitting deep ball after deep ball. Just look at the last
Right.
game he played against Miami. Every ball he threw was downfield, and people are now like, oh well, he really doesn't want to run. He's looking upfield. It's like, yeah. I was like, go watch a college game. I was like, just watch one.
Right.
Just watch one. It's what he did. Yeah, he could run because he's a unique athlete, but it's so much fun to watch him in this offense and let him do what he's really
Yes,
capable of doing.
I absolutely agree with you. I just love how he's evolved and to who he is. And so when the Tom Brady I don't know the podcast name, but I did listen to it with him and Jim Gray. He's talking about like how he's preserved himself in terms of being safe, and we knew that. We talked about that numerous times in terms of like how his run game has changed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, if you watch enough football, you know that's kind of how that is. But ultimately, this is what he's done. You know what I'm saying? He's always been, well, not always. He's evolved to be a guy that's like, look, I got to be there for my team moving forward. So how do I preserve myself? And I think that he's done a good enough job. Now, I had already said though, KZ, like moving forward, like from that, coming out of the bye, he was going to have to probably start taking some games over. And I go back and look at that Browns game, and I wonder if Lamar had made an executive decision to take over, would that had not been the outcome, right? And I mean that by like, there were some lanes that weren't there in terms of like the passing lanes, and he was trying to force it as opposed to trying to make a play to extend, the downs or whatever. So I wonder if they play Cleveland this time, how he's going to play this go around if they find their way back at M&T Bank Stadium. And so I think this will be different in that regard, because I think coming down the stretch, Lamar realized at times I'm gonna have to put the offense on my back. The San Francisco game when he has that big run and
Yep.
all of those types of things. So I think that things will be different moving forward to the playoffs, because now this is all go, right? Like you got 3 games.
Yep.
3 games.
3 games.
Three potential games that you are going to try to win. And I think we might see a little bit more looser running Lamar. Still safe, still going to try to go through his aggressive reads. But instead of, being hesitant about running, I think he'll be more like, okay, this is not working. I got to make a play, and then that'll happen.
Yeah, yeah. We're talking with Syreeta Hubbard from everywhere. Gridiron Gals, 105.7,
Including PressBox.
Project Gameday. I don't have time for all this. So Super Wild Card Weekend, what are you pumped to watch?
Yeah, okay. So I'm definitely interested in Rams, Lions for the storyline itself.
Yep.
We all remember that, Stafford and Goff was traded for each other. So that, to me, I'm interested in. I am very concerned about the Rams. They're a team that nobody is talking about. And that includes against the 49ers. I mean, look, I know that y'all got 49ers as the favorites out here in betting land, but they look scary in terms of what they can do on offense. And we've seen it up front, close and personal. So I am curious to see if they find their way to advance. I think the other game, Browns and Texans, I think we're going to be paying attention to, because
Right.
I think that we consider that a real possibility of Cleveland well, I do. I can't speak for everybody else. I consider it a real possibility. I don't think that the Pittsburgh Steelers have a chance against Buffalo, especially without T.J. Watt.
Yep.
That I just don't see that happening. I don't see Miami beating Kansas City without the pass rush. So I just don't. I'm going to watch that Texans Browns game, because those are 2 teams that could potentially be going to Baltimore at some point. So That and again, the NFC game for me is the Rams Lions game. So those are like when you look at the other matchups, Casey. I don't know. I just look at the other ones and I was like boring, like like the Eagles and the Bucks. Okay, I'm not interested in the Bucks. The Eagles don't look good. Not interested in that. Packers and Cowboys. Look, Jordan Love has grown, and I think that he's going to be a really fine quarterback. But at home against the Cowboys, away against the Cowboys, the Cowboys have been undefeated at home, so I don't have anything for that. And everything else is just kind of like those are only two games that I'm like, I'm gonna watch them all. By the way,
Right? Yeah, we're gonna watch them all. Oh
yeah.
No, I think the two games you mentioned are the ones that are on paper should be the most interesting for the weekend. I mean,
Right.
The Rams Lions. I mean, my God, that just should be fun and
Yeah.
all the storylines and all that. I agree with you with the Rams. They look scary. Nobody's talking about them. The Laporta injury could be very big. If he's not able to go for the Lions, he's been, almost historic for a rookie tight end this year.
Yeah. Yep.
It was sad to see that, kind of fluky injury happen. But we'll see. They haven't ruled him out entirely yet.
I don't think he plays. I think it's doubtful that he plays, which is a huge blow, like you said, because of how well he's played. So
yeah.
I just don't see it happening. I don't know. That's where I stand with that.
Yep.
No, it sucks because, like you said, Laporta has played really, really well, particularly because remember they traded Hockenson away to Minnesota last year. So he's come in and he hasn't missed a step.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a big part of what their offense is. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how they'll rebound because I don't think he plays. If he doesn't play, I'm interested to see how they rebound. But I'm really interested to see what this Rams team is going to do, man, because Puka is nasty. That young boy is nasty. He should be up, and it's crazy because I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. I think C.J. Stroud will.
He will.
But he needs to be highly considered for it.
Well, I said the other day, I was like, if Stroud had a bad game in Week 18, which he didn't, he had a great game. I was like, could Puka sneak in there? Because he said records, like he's historic. And it was just funny. It's like somebody asked me, he goes, where'd he come out of? I was like, BYU. I said he was great.
BYU?
He was great. He was great in college. It was like he was on everybody's draft radar, and then he ran like 4.7. And
so
people,
that's old. So that's what lowered his stock. Okay.
Yeah, it's like so all of a sudden you got this guy that his numbers in college don't match how he tests, and they put it and some everybody, is it tape or is it testing, and depending on your GM and how they work it, one may hold up, but when he ran 4.7, he just plummeted, and they just from day one they were like in camp, every writer for the Rams was like, they stole this kid Puka. Like this kid can play. And he's been from day one. He's just been spectacular.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you put him with Cup, it's like, come on. I mean, it's like unfair. It's so unfair. And the fact that Puka can do it without Cup and Cup can do it without Puka, and now you have them both. That should just be a fun game. I hope it's 42-40. I'll be very disappointed if we go 14-10 in that game.
Oh, come on, Casey, that's not happening.
I know, but
already know.
I want to be entertained from the jump in that game.
Me too, and I think that's what we'll get. Yeah. I absolutely think that's what we're going to get. It's funny because they had a lot of injuries starting off, which is why they had such a slow start, the Rams. But so many people I think written the Rams off, and we just forget how much of a mastermind Sean McVay can be when it comes to routes and stuff and concepts. So to see them rebound has been wild to watch. And to me, they're my dark horse of the NFC. I understand that people like the Cowboys and stuff, but Cowboys run defense is a problem. Williams would light them up. Williams would light them up. So that would be an interesting matchup, in my opinion, in that regard. And I would not be against taking the Rams against a team like the Cowboys if something like that happened. But they're my dark horse for sure, and I'm curious to see how that's all gonna play out. So that's my biggest one because I can't wait for the storylines about we traded him away and that's gonna be a thing. Jared Goff gotta be in his feelings about this, but at least he playing at home. There's the one thing he can say is like, well, they gotta come here. So says a lot about what I've been able to do here in Detroit, the same way what Matthew Stafford was able to do in LA. So that's an interesting concept.
100%. What can I promote for you? Where are you at this week? What are you doing this week? What should we listen to?
Please check out my Gridiron Gals podcast. I will be back on 105.7 The Fan tomorrow. Also tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m. Also, Winning Drive podcast with myself and Cordell. We'll take it from there. So those are the things. That's all I got going on, Casey.
Oh, that's all. That's all. That's all.
That's it.
That's why I can't keep a list of you. Hey, my friend, you and I haven't seen each other in a while. But I just want to say this so it's on tape. I am extraordinarily proud and happy for you.
Thank you, friend. I appreciate you.
And all,
we'll see what
and all your success.
We'll
I really so do. What's that?
I said we'll see what 2024 got in store, but 2023 was fun.
More good things. More good things. More good things. Everybody's starting to figure it out now. So.
Thank you, my friend.
No, anytime. Love you. Thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, KZ. Talk to you soon.
There she is, Syreeta, the NFL chick. You can find her everywhere. Everywhere. Gridiron Gals, One Winning Drive. Is it called One Winning Drive with Cordell?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's on 105.7. Her and Glenn do her thing. She's on Project Gameday. She's everywhere. So proud of her. She and I started together. So, soft spot always for Syreeta.
Just Winning Drive. One Winning Drive is where the facility is.
Oh, just Winning Drive. Yeah. Gotcha. By the way, I need everybody to go and download the Superbook app or visit superbook.com to take advantage of a great offer. All you got to do is use code GlennClark23 when you sign up at superbook.com, and you'll receive up to $250 in same-day first bet match. Win or lose, doesn't matter. You win, great. You still get it. You lose, okay, you got another shot. But head over to superbook.com to take advantage of the great offer. We good to break?
Yeah, we can. And if you are bullish like Ken and I are, we're just giving the Chiefs and the Bills the win. If you parlay them together on Superbook right now,
absolutely,
you get minus 128 right now.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it is for just the Chiefs and Bills win.
I had a good night in the NBA last night. I stayed away from the national championship game.
I should have, yeah. I like Washington for some reason.
I stayed away from it. The only
once
thing,
the game started, it was like, oh.
Only thing I did bet, and I should have bet it, is the running back
Corum. His touchdown prop. Well,
it was minus
touchdown.
400.
Yeah,
but 2 was like plus 300. I should have hit it.
Yeah.
I should have hit it. I put the anytime touchdown in a parlay and was fine, but I should have gone the 2. But head over to superbook.com. Use GlennClark23 when you sign up, and we'll take our first break. We come back, more football, maybe a little bit of basketball. We'll see what we have going on. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's so much focus on sports betting these days, but I want to talk about an area that nobody wants to gamble on, where you choose to go out and spend your hard-earned dollars to eat. The Costas Inn is no gamble at all. The quality on their menu is outstanding, and the value is off the charts with a great and varied list of specials Monday through Friday. And the staples of the menu, whether it's salads, burgers, fish, they're all fantastic. fantastic. And I haven't even mentioned the crabs or crab cakes yet. So check out the menu for yourself at CostasInn.com. When choosing a place to dine, never gamble on the food you put in your belly. The Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or call 410-477-1975 for reservations and your steamed crab orders.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis, ajmichaels.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of PressBox is available now, and it's our very special annual Best Of issue. On the cover, we celebrate Orioles manager Brandon Hyde as our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, and the Orioles as our Team of the Year, with Stan the Fan Charles and Glenn Clark sitting down with Hyde to discuss his role in creating the culture that defined the Orioles' magic season. Also inside, we recognize the top people, performances, and moments of 2023. PressBox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the Ravens, Terps, and O's at PressBoxOnline.com.
Hey Ravens fans, looking for the perfect new game day brew? Get a Guilford, Baltimore's finest craft beer during the next home game at the bank. That's not all. Gather your flock next home game and check out Guilford Hall Brewery's brand new bar, the Gilly Nest, located near Section 505. No tickets? No problem. Enjoy all Ravens games all season long at our restaurant and brewery in Station North. Guilford Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
Sure, Glenn may be in his 40s now, but he looks just as good as he ever has, and he's still as sharp as he ever was. And I say both those things without even a shred of irony. Find out for yourself right now by watching the show at facebook.com/PressBoxSports or youtube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Sadly, you can't see Glenn Clark. You have to see me, and I don't know.
I don't know if that's too
I don't
bad.
know.
I
I don't know if that's a good or if that's up, down, sideways, but what you can do is go get a Toyota Tacoma, which comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for details on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today. I don't know where Glenn is this week. I got like all the text messages and the conversations, and I never really asked where he was going. So
he is on a cruise.
He's on a cruise.
I believe a Disney cruise.
Oh, good for him.
Yes. Yeah, he's
Well,
a big cruise guy.
That'll be good. Yeah, I'm not a cruise guy.
I don't think I could do it either.
Once I saw Titanic, I was out. Those things. I'm not a big plane guy either, but those are necessities sometimes.
Well, you wait to hear that he took a plane to get to the cruise ship.
That's just ridiculous. They have cruises that go out of Baltimore.
Yeah, not the
Not
one that,
Disney. You couldn't take one.
I guess not.
Couldn't take one boat
Can't
to
take
the
one
other boat.
cruise.
It's not like the planes where you plane and get on the other boat. Yeah, good. Good for him. Good for him. Good for him. You know what? It's luckily they got the bye and perfect timing for him. Was he going either way?
Yeah, I believe he was. So it would have been definitely would have been awkward had the Ravens not tightened everything up and made sure that this was pretty meaningless week for the city of Baltimore. Fortunately,
what did you think of the whole Jameis Winston?
I was gonna ask you. Yeah, I mean, since it's Jameis, I feel like it's hard not, and since it's the NFC South, we're about as far removed from that as we can be here as Ravens fans. It's pretty funny. But you can't. They shouldn't have done that. What you couldn't do is you couldn't line up in victory formation and run a play. Had they done anything else, I think it would have been a non-story, really. Yeah,
I mean, to a degree. I mean, on the interception, he went down at the one on purpose.
Yeah. I think the Falcons tracked him down. They tackled him.
Did they? I thought he
maybe. I mean,
I don't know. Maybe
again, but
maybe so. Maybe so. I've heard we'll line up and stop them crowd, and don't let them get down there crowd.
The problem with the lineup and stop them thing is because they were in victory
victory
yes.
formation. I think it's wrong. I think because, and I agree with you, because you were in victory formation, everybody's chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Everybody knows what it is. You don't run plays out of it. And I get from the Saints that they wanted to get him the touchdown. Just don't do it that way. And I get, look, Arthur, whatever, Smith, Brown, what's his
Arthur
name?
Smith.
He's gone. Okay, so he's fired. I don't disagree with.
It was nice of them to wait until the next day. 12:01.
Yeah,
a.m.
I don't.
to
Should have been fired midseason. If I'm the general manager of that team, at some point I go down and just slap him and say, "I am drafting playmakers for you. Freaking use them." Yeah.
And the argument is,
we went in the first round and drafted a running back for you to use, and you refuse to use him. And guess what? Every time he happens to get the ball in his hands, he's like magic.
Yeah. I saw the stat. So Tyler Algier had more rushing yards last year in his rookie season than Bijan had this year.
And more. It's just, look. Algier was great last year. I'm not telling you to put him on the bench, but use them both. It's just.
And so the argument, I guess, is
it's just he needed to be fired.
He's had very incompetent quarterback play, but a lot of that is on him. I mean,
it's on him.
When they came out and say we don't want Lamar Jackson, like that's the
that's partial.
Yeah,
on the ownership.
Yeah,
that's partial on the GM. All those GMs will be fired because that tragic mistake. I mean, tragic mistake. It's like the you ever seen the Pretty Woman movie?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like when she goes back into the store. Remember when you wouldn't wait on me?
Yeah.
Big mistake. Huge.
Big mistake. Huge.
Nobody wanted him. Nobody even made an offer to him. It's like,
right.
Great. He's like, Aiden O'Donnell. Your quarterback is Aiden O'Donnell in Vegas. You couldn't use Lamar. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm glad nobody did.
Yeah,
I don't think their thinking was wrong because I don't think there was any possibility that the Ravens were not matching whatever came their way. I mean, you're putting your franchise back years because then you don't have a quarterback. And whatever we think of our backup quarterbacks here, they're backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're not starters. I don't want Huntley starting for my NFL team.
It didn't make sense. I mean, it just didn't make any sense for the teams were saying they weren't interested because to protect the quarterback that they currently had. But when your current quarterback was Desmond Ridder,
that's like, what are we protecting? What are we protecting?
And then they ended up making it so convoluted at the end. The Falcons ended up making it so convoluted at the end. I mean, they went Heineke, then Ridder, then Heineke, they kept going back and forth because of
injuries and things like that. But the bottom line is
come out and be like, "Oh, I'm confident." Clearly, you're not.
You have playmakers. You have Pitts, London. I'll call Algier a playmaker.
Yeah.
And Bijan could be one of the top running backs in the NFL if you would use him right. I mean, he's so smooth. He's so fast. He makes a 3-yard run. You're like, he should have lost 3. Arthur Smith. Nobody will miss you. Nobody will miss you. And I'd be surprised if he like some people say, well, he'll get another offensive coordinator position. Like, will he?
Maybe with Vrabel,
or
something. Wherever Vrabel, if Vrabel stays, or if Vrabel goes to New England or something.
Yeah, that whole New England thing is weird to me. Like he still wants to coach. Belichick said he wants to coach. He wants the record.
Yeah. Well, if you're New England, do you keep him then, or do you?
I think it's time for them to have a real GM.
Yeah. So if Bill's gonna say, well, no, I'm not giving up.
If he's not giving up the GM part, I think you got to part ways. I think you don't fire him. You come together and you and the owner have a joint press conference and said, you know what, I've had 24 fantastic years here. This is my home. But it's time for me to move on and do something else. And, it's best for the organization, it's best for me, blah, 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 kumbaya, blah, 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 and go. He's made so many mistakes as a GM with seemingly never wanting to make a draft pick that I think it's just time to get somebody else, a new set of eyes there. I think coaching wise, like his team is always prepared, and they still play hard. He's got no offensive weapons. And once Stevenson went out, I mean, Elliott did the best he could, but you have no wide receivers. You have 2 old tight ends that keep on getting hurt that you paid a lot of money to. That's just ridiculous. You haven't built an offense that is good enough in today's NFL. You need an offense in today's NFL. You cannot just do it on defense anymore. And his defense was still good, even without superstar playmakers. Judon went down this year. And they were still good all year. They were tough out. But I think if the owner doesn't say we need to bring in a different GM and we'd still like to have you the coach, and he's not for that, then it's time to part ways, and we'll see where he'll go coach. I think
Tomlin for Belichick straight up, and
Tomlin's not going anywhere.
Maybe.
So, by the way, we don't do weather here a lot, but apparently the apocalypse is happening.
Right.
Is happening late this afternoon.
Ken informed me when I got in.
Well, I mean, so if you know me, I mean, I work at a high school when I'm not doing football stuff and media stuff. And the big thing yesterday, like I didn't know any of this, and then all of a sudden, Hartford County Schools announced they were closing 3 hours early, and I'm like, did I miss a snowstorm? And they're getting out because the risk of flooding and hurricane force winds. Late this afternoon, 4 o'clock-ish, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock-ish, into throughout the evening. I'm like, wow. I was like, okay. And then this morning, Baltimore County did it. And now, like, Curley's doing it, and Park's doing it, and all these schools are slowly, like, canceling afternoon activities. I'm like, what? It's supposed to rain, right? like rain. And it's like, apparently this is, like,
the biggest
real.
I guess we should just be thankful it's not like 10 degrees colder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wish it was. I mean, then I'd be out the whole week.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, you got to look at these things. I mean, canceling things makes my job really hard at the high school. But today's like the day. Like, if we were ever going to cancel in the entire winter, today is the day. It's like I have nothing. Like I have one game that middle school level, nothing on the varsity or JV side. It's fantastic. But apparently there's this coming in. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, look at that. Friends School of Baltimore. You're going to hear it here first.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably not allowed to do this.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. There will be no after-school activities, but we are staying open all day.
Oh, you're staying open all day.
School will remain in session, but no afternoon activities.
Probably the right call, I guess, based on what's allegedly going to happen.
Based on what everybody else said. See, I always base on what everybody else does. Like, if Baltimore County, I get it with the buses and stuff, but that means to me they don't want people driving, like, when school ends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then schools around you start doing it. It's like, okay. So interesting. So be safe out there today.
Yeah.
Apparently, the roads will be clear because all the schools are closing early. So that's cool.
Did you want to run through a picks recap here?
Yeah, let's do that.
Well,
let's do that.
Before we check in with Femi.
Where are my picks here?
So once again,
it was a good. It was. I had a good week. Good
for you.
I did. I had a good week. I was fading a little bit, but I got myself back into it. If you remember the way we do this, there's a little bit of cash at the top of the table, where right now, ahead of the table is John Keller.
He's having a. He's on a heater. He's on a heater.
He may get the daily double. Because John Keller, by the way, won the bowl contest run by Glenn Clark.
John and Little Rock.
That's a nice chunk of change.
He's dialed in right now.
That's a nice chunk of change, that one. I mean, there were like 45 people.
Yeah.
I suck at it. I'm terrible. And once I get behind, I just start picking upsets to see if I can get back into it.
I was because I won it last year, and so I started off pretty cold, but then I picked up during that week of like Christmas is when I pick it up when I start seeing things real well in the college football bowls.
I was so far behind. I picked every underdog, but John went 30 and 13 in that. That's really good.
Yeah,
I hope he bet it. I hope he bet him straight up.
Yeah, if he just took every winner.
Just take every 30 and like every one and just bet him straight up.
Yeah,
he probably got. I mean. But that's a good contest to win. This isn't as good. This is for pride. But John now has
the point of this contest is to not lose.
So he was 7-2 last week and vaulted himself in the first place. Glenn Clark, he's treading water. He was above 500. He's one game back. Andrew Stecca. We couldn't have been more complimentary this year to Mr. Stecca. Stecca went back to reality a little bit. And he is now 3 games back because he went 2-7.
And so Glenn was saying the rule is that Stecca needs to win in order to get out of the league because he didn't want to play this year after losing last year.
Right.
So
it's a weird bid. I don't understand it. I mean, you're part of the group, Stecca. You know you're part of the group. That means you have to participate in the group, no matter what. He got out of the fantasy football league, dropped out of all these things. Like you got to do it. I know you're in Arizona.
Shouldn't change anything. Tied
with Mr. Stecca after going 6-3 is me. 3 games back as well. So
you're live.
I got 3 games. There's we calculate this. There's 13 games left to pick. Right? We got 6.
Yes. Yeah.
4, 2, 1. That's 13, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's only 13 games left. But I'm only 3 behind. So it's not bad. 1 game behind me is you got Mr. Proctor. Ryan Shell
had a good week.
7-2 as well. Nick Kelly take a little step back, but still only 5 games back in striking distance, tied with Mr. Shell. Kyle Ottenheimer, you're at the need a miracle to win it, but you're also not. You're just about out of the woods. It would be historically bad and historically good from Griff.
Yeah, it would. It would be really nice.
But Kyle's 7 back. Paul Valley is 9 back. Griff is 19 back. Now, the good news is that Jeremy Kahn, who, thought he's better than he was. Let's call it what it is. Good friend of mine, but I get it. I mean, it's easy when he gets to pick his own games.
Right, yeah.
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's the best.
If we had told him pick 9 games,
he would go 8-1, 7-2, 9-0 every week. But because he has to pick the games that we give him, he's going to be doing this dance thing. He's going to be drinking and eating a bunch of stuff. He doesn't want to drink and eat. But it is what it is. But
and I'm thankful for him. I'm very
thankful. And Griff, out of the kindness of your heart, you should probably do the dance with him. But that's just me. That's just me. But
you're probably right.
Paul Valley is the closest to Griff in our pick contest.
I need Paul to just fall asleep at the wheel somehow.
You need Paul to literally not pick.
Yeah.
The rest of the way.
Yeah.
And to be quite frank, and nothing against you,
well,
it still may not help because that means you would still have to go
about 10-3,
4-9.
Yeah. Or I need him.
No, you need him to go. You need him to go 0-13.
Yeah.
And you need to go 4-9.
I would need to go 9-4.
9-4.
Yeah.
9-4. Because there is a 10-game differential between the two of you where Griff, sadly, I must say, as I've done these many, many years, will be going to a Creed concert. Now, we still haven't established. I am of the opinion that you're a closet Creed fan.
I'm not. I don't. Trust me.
I'm
going to try to find a way to. I'm going to try to find a silver lining to this, but it's not.
Glenn's going to be disappointed in this because you're going to enjoy it more than you thought you were going to.
Where are you getting the sense that I'm a closeted Creed fan?
I don't know because you really haven't fought all year about this and been upset.
Well,
about
because I've been so I've had this bad this twisted sense that I was going to somehow find a way to dig myself out of this. So I didn't want to groan about it. But yeah, I mean now it's gonna be time to.
It's I mean.
So I have to pay for my own Creed ticket.
Yes. You have to film yourself there.
Oh my god, this is gonna. When are they even here?
That I don't know. That I don't know. I don't even know where they are near here. I don't know if they're coming close.
What if they canceled their tour? That'd just be a shame.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do that. A show my son was going to go to in New York, he just got a message that was canceled. It kind of sucked. Bringing lots of people in.
Creed is back.
Where are they? You don't have to go to Hershey to see them, do you?
That that may end up being the case.
Oh no, that's even worse. Well, there you go. So here's the silver lining. You spend the weekend in Hershey.
Spend the whole weekend there? Yeah, I mean,
worst place to be on earth.
They're in. There's a Maryland Heights in Missouri. I didn't know that.
Sure, why not?
Burgettstown, PA. That's the closest one I'm seeing so far. Where's Burgettstown, PA?
Couldn't tell you. Never heard of it.
Burgett's.
Couldn't tell you.
Minnesota, New Hampshire. Oh, okay. They're in Hershey in August. They are in Hershey in August on August 23rd.
August 23rd in Hershey.
Yeah.
Wow, they're not coming anywhere near here.
Yeah, I believe that's the closest. No DC, no Maryland or Columbia or anything like that.
Is it like midweek in Hershey?
What would the 23rd be? The 23rd of August would be. I'm just gonna pull up the calendar here. Gosh, I gotta make plans 8 months ahead of time because of this.
It's a Friday night. There you go.
Ah, beautiful.
It's a Friday night. I mean, look, I think you can make a weekend out of it. I truly do. I think you can make a weekend out of it. So it's Hershey.
No, because the park will probably be packed because it'll be the last week before school, so all the kids will be at Hershey Park.
But sports have started, at least for Maryland sports. So all the sports have started.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm gonna have to try to find a way to make a silver lining to this somehow. Did we want to go game by game? I guess we didn't really need to.
I mean, look, we could do that real quick. You want
Washington? Yeah, Washington, Michigan. We were very split on this one. Myself, and Glenn were on Washington. You were on Washington along with John Proctor. Ryan and Andrew Stecca also on the Huskies, and there were a couple instances where it felt like they were going to be in it, but whenever he kept missing a Dunze, I don't know why Penix missed a Dunze a couple times.
Why?
And there were times where he didn't even look his way, which confused.
Well, I mean, the pass rush was
yes,
was but there were a couple that he needed to hit that were wide open, and they just that difference. My thing is, I was playing the points here. I thought Michigan was the better team. I thought that they would probably win the game. To me, like I said at the beginning, could Washington stop the run? The big answer was no, they couldn't. And that was it. And like you said, we were split, and 4.5 is a lot to give in a national championship game. The next game was the win in your in game between Houston and Indianapolis.
Ended up being an AFC South championship.
Well, it did.
Ended up.
Only Stetka and Jeremy Kahn dipped their toe in the Indianapolis Colt bucket,
and then Tyler Goodson had it, and I guess they still would have had to go and score, but
it's an idiotic. It's a great play call. The pass was bad. The catch was bad.
Yeah.
The personnel was bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Goodson may be a wonderful player at some point. He hasn't been involved except for one game the entire year. You have Jonathan Taylor and Zach Moss, who have both been really, really good this year. You need a yard. If you would have called the same play with Jonathan Taylor catches the ball. I also would have run either one of those hammerheads up the middle and gotten the first down, because that's all that play was designed to do. That play was not designed to score a touchdown. Play was designed to get the first down. So, yes, you can say it was a good play call because it was open. I don't like the personnel. If I'm going to go down, I'm going down with my best. It would sort of be to me like Ravens need to score. Last play of the game on the goal line. and they hand the ball for his first touch of the game to Dalvin Cook instead of Gus, who's healthy, being on the sideline. Like, if you're going to hand it off, if that's the play call, it's fine. I don't got a problem with the play call. I got a problem with your personnel. And that was my problem there. It's like we're putting our season on the line with a kid that hasn't had a catch all game, hasn't had a rush all game, and all year had 6 catches, and all year had 16 touches, hadn't had a touch in the football game. There's a minute left. We've decided, again, smartest man in the room syndrome, we're going to fool everybody. But, yeah, that's fine.
This was ill timing on my part because we do have to talk to Femi Ayanbadejo here. So do you want to remind everyone about the new PressBox?
I do. The annual best of issue of PressBox is available right now, celebrating the Orioles as the team of the year and manager Brandon Hyde as our Mo Gabba sports person of the year. Inside the issue, we celebrate the top people, performances, and moments of the last 12 months in local sports. Pick up the best of issue at your neighborhood Royal Farms or at any of the 100 locations around town where you'll find PressBox, or read the entire thing over at PressBoxOnline.com. I still have never made the best of. I'm still waiting to be named best high school coach, but I have yet to ever been approached for it. But that's okay. I have a couple years left of coaching.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll talk to Stan about that. Yeah.
I've won championships. Still was never considered. Never considered. Don't go to a high enough prestigious school, I guess. Are we good? Yes. So we're going to go to our next guest. He is always on with us on Project Gameday, former Raven. Femi Ayanbadejo. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
What's up, Ken? How are you, man?
I'm good. So, real quick, nutshell, I know it was a meaningless game, but what did you think of any outtakes from the Ravens Steelers from Saturday?
Well, I just like the idea that, and this is going to sound counterintuitive, but let me get my tarot cards and my astrology book out for this one. So the things that I've been hearing, and we talked about this with Glenn and Rita as well, is that everyone has this PTSD around 2019 and this rest versus rust concept. And had the Ravens beat Pittsburgh, it'd been like, it's 2019 all over again. So the fact that they lost the game, 2019 is done. It's over. It has nothing to do with the current state of affairs. Different guys, different teams, different people. Yes, there's some carryover in staff and front office folks, but the bottom line is I think this team is a better team 1 through 53 in regard to who's going to be active and available for the divisional round game. So in regard to the outcome, I always find a silver lining. That's just who I am. I'm an optimist by birth. It's just who I am. And so I like the idea that people they might still talk about the rust versus rust thing, but I feel like the fact that the similarities have already been broken, that's a good start. Secondarily, I'm really excited about the fact that the Chiefs and the Bills, that's who's playing. They're playing each other, correct? This weekend. That's right. Yeah, Chiefs and Bills are playing each other.
Chiefs are hosting Miami.
Oh, Chiefs are hosting Miami. Okay, so who do the Bills have this weekend?
The Steelers.
The Steelers. That's right. Okay, because the number 7 seed. That's correct. So. What I basically like, though, is that the way that this is set up is that I love to see the Bills in the AFC Championship game. I actually think they're the biggest threat. That was the point I was trying to make. Now, if the Steelers can find a way to beat the Bills, man, what I love for so many selfish reasons for Pittsburgh to come back here, because I'm really sick of what Pittsburgh fans have spun this season into in regard to who the king of the North is, and the Steelers have the Ravens number. I know that this rivalry is cyclical. I know records don't always matter, but circumstances do matter. And people have these yellow lenses on when they look at the matchup between the Steelers and the Ravens. And I think the Ravens are so good at finding petty things to motivate them that if they end up facing the Steelers, which I think is a long shot, it would be amazing to have them come here. Now, what could end up happening, obviously, is you have Houston and Cleveland. And I had this feeling that it was going to be Cleveland and Baltimore here at some point. Now, if we get that next week, I'm okay. I'm fine with that as well. I'm not worried. I mean, all these teams are good, but when I look at the matchup, I love the fact that the Bills are on the other side of the bracket, and that's my long-winded way of saying I like the way that the table is set up in regard to the playoffs in the AFC.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the rest versus rust in the 2019 thing, I like how you say it. Anybody that wants to argue the rest versus rust, I just say T.J. Watt to you, and it's over.
Exactly.
I mean, that's it. I mean,
yeah.
if the shoe was on the other foot and one of the stars that you rely upon from the Ravens got injured in a meaningless game, I look to Miami the week before with Chubb. Why is he in a game that's a 30-point blowout with 4 minutes left after you already took your starters on offense out? I think that this team, and I agree with you, because of the personnel changes, especially at the coordinator positions, offensively and defensively, it's completely different. These coordinators have proven to me that they are not only able, but they are willing to make changes in-game, on the fly, not wait till halftime, and they have the ability to do that. So I don't – none of that matters to me anymore. That's water under the bridge. It's something that happened. It's something that will be part of their history. But they can move off of all that this year. They've been the best team in football, and it hasn't been close because of the way they've beaten supposedly the other best teams in football. You went to the best team in football's house, destroyed them. You had the best offense in the AFC come to your house. You destroyed them. You've beaten almost every division winner. You've beaten, I don't know what it is, like 7 of the 14 playoff teams you've beaten this year. This is a tested team. I don't want to hear any of that. I agree with you. I don't want to hear any of that anymore. It is what it is. Let's see how it happens in 2 weeks and who's here. I agree with you. I think it's whoever wins Houston, Cleveland. I think they come. I don't see how the Steelers will be able to go to Buffalo. Buffalo's playing too well unless Josh Allen, again, has 3 turnovers and Pittsburgh plays a clean game. And I think Miami's done. I don't think Kansas City's a world beater this year, but Miami's just done to me.
Yeah, I think that this if we chronologically think about the way that we spoke during our podcast post game, the Ravens have incrementally every week gotten better. It hasn't been a straight line because most improvements are not a straight line, right? They deviate, they move, you 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward, a step back. They have grown on the fly, and they have been improving while on the train and laying track in front of the train as it moves, which is what you have to do during the season. Whoever can make the adjustments on the fly while the train is moving, laying track and making all the adjustments, bending through valleys and curves and all the different things that happen, the Ravens have done it better than anybody this year. And unfortunately, Coach Harbaugh's probably not going to get Coach of the Year, but if you think about what they dealt with in the offseason last year, think about the end of the Cincinnati game to where we are right now. The psychology of it, the emotional roller coaster of it, the changes that needed to be made, the players that needed to be brought in, the injuries that they've dealt with. They have done a master class in preparation, stoicness, and just trusting the process. I hate to be cliche, but the Ravens have done it better than anybody this year. Now, I'm sure that the coach in Houston probably deserves Coach of the Year. There's probably some other candidates out there that I'm probably, not mentioning right now off the top of my head. But because the Ravens were expected to be an upper echelon team. So for them to be there, you're probably not going to give Coach Harbaugh an award for that. And Eric DeCosta, if you think of the moves that he made and the people that he brought in, the foresight that he had, I don't think we all loved everything early on because we just didn't know what it meant. But when you look statistically, the first team ever to lead the league in points allowed, turnovers, and what was the third category? Points per game? But points per game, turnovers, and I'm forgetting one of the categories. Turnovers, points allowed.
Sacks.
What's the other one?
Yeah, sacks. I think it was
Sacks. Thank you. That's the one. No team has ever done that before. So, and that's a testament to the quality of the coaching staff and Chuck Smith coming in to help these guys with their pass rush. Adafe Owe, I know he's been a little bit banged up, has probably had his best season in regard to just his grade out on PFF and his effectiveness. Kyle Van Noy, there's so many guys that we could talk about in regard to guys that were, basically kind of veterans that nobody was pounding the table to go get. And they're able to be like, oh, we got a spot for you, and we got a spot for you too. And then you think about the emergence of Kyle Hamilton and what he's done. You think about the combination of Roquan and PQ. I can't say enough about this defense. And we know what Lamar's done. Lamar is just a straight savage. Watching him on the sideline, watching him, the term locked in should just be his. He should just own that term because he's just locked in.
Yep.
Nothing matters. It's just about a Super Bowl for him. And guys get all giddy. He's like, hey, calm your blanks down, and we got work to do still. I'm watching him do that and check his guys and his guys listening, doing it in a way though that it's commanding, but it's right. And guys knew that, and they locked right back in. And I love that about Lamar. And I think he's always had it in him. But when you're a young guy in a room with a bunch of grown men and veterans, you know that you're there to be seen and not heard. But Lamar now is a veteran. I know he's only, 27? I think he just turned 27, or did he just turn 28? I think he just turned 27, actually, right? Is that right?
Yes, just turned 27.
I think he just turned 27. Can you believe that? Lamar just turned 27. That is insane to me. To think about what he's done, the records he's broken, throwing, running, converting, all of it. And so when I just look at the totality of the growth of this team, I'm just so impressed. And let's be real. I've really stopped critiquing, and I've just been happy to be along for the ride and very complimentary because, like I said, earlier on in the year, we were very critical about certain things that we saw that could cause them to lose important games. Well, guess what? They made all those corrections. So now, I'm just going to sit back and be quiet and go along for the ride. As long as there's NFL games being played, the Ravens need to be in that game. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's divisional, AFC, NFC Championship week, and then the Super Bowl. I think they have the skill, the ability, the mental toughness, the resilience. They've gone through all the fire to do it. I'm just excited, Ken. I really am. I'm just really excited for this postseason. And there's nothing like postseason football. There just isn't.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. This is the most confident I've ever been with the Ravens going into the playoffs. I'll be really honest, just because of, like you said, their improvement during the year. And I know you're sitting down, so I'm going to say something to you. Harbaugh should.
Oh, you want to give Coach Harbaugh a compliment?
Hold on. Two things. One, Harbaugh should be Coach of the Year. Two, from the Pittsburgh game, something changed in Harbaugh or the coaching staff after the Pittsburgh game, the first loss. They have gotten that balance of analytics and reality right the rest of the year. Okay? Do we all agree on everything he does? Do I still think he's a great game manager? I don't. But he's improved this year more than I've seen in any other year. And I don't know if that's because of the coordinators that he has now around him who are able to make better and quicker adjustments in the season. Roman was good for what he was good for, but adjusting wasn't one of them. There was no plan B with Roman's offense. Wink is a tremendous defensive coordinator, but it's a one-trick pony. You know what you're doing. You know what you're getting. You know you're getting pressure and pressure and pressure, and the bend don't break type thing. These two coordinators have done such a good job of mixing things up and being able to change within the game without getting to halftime or something like that. That it's really helped it's made Harbaugh a better coach this year. So there. Whatever I say about Harbaugh, I stick to it. But that's my thing with Harbaugh this year. He has improved since the Steeler game. I've noticed a change in him, and say, hey, We don't have to always be aggressive. We have this really good defense. We have Lamar. When we get the ball back, we'll score next time. We don't always have to go for it on 4th and 1. So I just think that there's been some more trust within himself as this year has gone on.
So what will it take for you to so you admit he's a good coach, right? We're on the same page. You admit that he's a Hall of Famer, correct?
I've always have. He's a Hall of Famer.
Okay, you always have. Okay. So your only issue is the in-game management.
Correct.
That's the only. I think sometimes people. I think that the issue is that like people hear your critique and they just think you don't think he's a good coach. But that's not the case, actually.
And I've never.
Yeah, I'm just saying this for the. I'm just saying this for the audience.
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes people run with that narrative, and I don't think that's ever what you've ever actually said. That's just, I'm actually defending you right now. It doesn't sound like it, but I am. Because I'm saying it's a nuanced point that you make. Your biggest issue, and I think I even made a statement like, where was it was the game where Lamar clearly had a first down.
It was the challenge.
Somebody said, someone said that he didn't have someone upstairs that he didn't have the first down. So Coach Harbaugh said that he didn't challenge it, and then he said that like from our angle it did look like a first down, where everybody that watched the game saw that it was a first down.
Right.
But then there was something that they did challenge that they shouldn't have challenged because you can't challenge it and it cost them a timeout, right?
Right.
Like that happened, and we all kind of lost our minds momentarily. But I think the reality of it is that we expect perfection from NFL staff, and when I say NFL staff, I mean or let me say this: NFL staff and players, front office, coaches, and players on the field. The truth of the matter is that you guys watch. We all watch games every Sunday, from high school on Friday night to college on Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening to Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and Monday and Thursday. They make the mistakes happen at every level, and they're kind of the same mistakes, to be honest, right? Penalties, right? Drop passes. Fumbles, not tucking the ball away. The truth of the matter is that at every level, the team that wins usually is the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. Not the explosive plays, not the eye-popping plays. No, those aren't the things that win. It's continuity, consistency, discipline. Those are the things that help you win football games. And I think that the Ravens organizationally are at the upper echelon of execution, discipline, and culture. And if you think about this, I believe that since the inception of the Ravens, they are the third winningest team in the NFL since their inception. I'm almost positive about that. I read this statistic not that long ago. A lot of people don't know that. They know the Ravens are tough. They know the Ravens are good. But since they've been in existence, they have a top 3 record in the NFL. They have one of the largest home field advantages in the NFL as well since their inception. And I think that people give that idea lip service from a qualitative perspective, but when you dig into the numbers, damn, I'm proud of this organization. I'm so proud to be a Raven. And every guy that I've played with, including my brother, no matter where they've been, they always say, I'm a Raven. They don't care about the other teams. They don't mention the other teams. And my point for bringing all this up is that I feel like the Ravens' way this year is so indicative and representative of just who we are as an organization. And that really makes me proud. And so the more I think macro, like telescopically, like big picture, we're spoiled as fans and as former players, like speaking to myself and other players, we always want them to do well. To see them match our expectations, because I promise you, former players have higher expectations than anybody on the planet in regard to their team. And I'm saying guys that represent the Ravens. And so for them to exceed, match, and do all that, hey, like I said, I'm just along for the ride. I'm just strapped in along for the ride. I'm excited to see what happens, 2 weeks from now when the Ravens actually strap it up to their next game.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look real quick. I know we talk so much about the Ravens and who they could play. Take me to the other side of it, the NFC. I know we got the 49ers are the top seed, but I really, I think they win it. They win the NFC, but who's the one team that you would be kind of looking to that could upset them along the way?
Oddly, I'm going to say the Rams.
Okay. There's been a lot of it.
Yeah, I think the Rams, and I think the Lions too. It's unfortunate the Rams and the Lions got to play each other in the wild card game. I actually like the Rams and the Lions a lot. I'll take them over the Cowboys because the bottom line is that one of those three teams is going to have to go to San Francisco. Do I trust the Cowboys on the road in grass in San Francisco? I've already seen that movie. I know how that movie ends. The Cowboys get their ass kicked like they always do when they play the Niners in San Francisco. Yeah, there's a few exceptions historically, but in general, the Niners beat the Cowboys. And I think the Niners will beat the Cowboys again if it comes up. I don't think the Cowboys are tough enough. They're athletic enough. They're fast enough. They're a Ferrari, but the Niners are a Mustang. You know what I mean? They're not as fast, but they're bigger, thicker, and they got more power, and they have enough speed to get it done. And so a lot of people are loving the Cowboys right now because Cowboys fans are delusional. I'm sorry for any Cowboys fans that are out there, but you guys are all delusional. Cowboys aren't going anywhere, in my opinion. I think Detroit and the Rams have a, and I'm not looking at the playoff bracket right now to see exactly how it's going to turn out, who's going to end up where. But I would love to see the Rams or the Lions playing the Niners in the NFC Championship game, if that's possible. That's what I'd love to see. That's my take on the NFC side. I don't see the Packers doing anything.
No.
I don't see Tampa doing anything. Maybe the Eagles. Maybe the Eagles get their act together and figure it out. But man, it's hard to think that's possible.
Yeah.
They've been on a downward.
Femi, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Neither have I. You know what's crazy? Ken? Literally, after they lost their third game in a row, I go, I've never seen a team go from being one of the best in the league to a complete enigma. I think it's like literally.
And it's on both sides.
You know what I mean?
It's on both sides of the ball, which is really weird. Like offensively, all of a sudden they're a shell of themselves, and defensively they're giving up 31 a game. It's so crazy. I mean, this team was 10-1.
Yeah, I think that the Eagles' biggest issue on defense in the beginning was they couldn't get off the field on third down. That was always a bugaboo for them, and it got worse. And then on the offensive side, I just think they got exposed. They got predictable. You know, if you're not throwing the ball up to A.J. Brown or the Slim Reaper, the tight end's nice, yeah, for sure. You know, they got a nice running back, and they got a really good O-line.
Yeah.
But I feel like their play calling and the way they used Jalen, first of all, they ran him way too much. They exposed him way too much to way too many hits. He was already banged up. If you're still running QB power, you're still running QB draw. And what I do is when I think about this, let me go off on a tangent for a moment. There were a lot of people that were saying Jalen Hurts, he's out Lamaring Lamar. No, he's not. Jalen Hurts is not Lamar Jackson on any level. Yes, he's a bigger guy. He can do some nice little things at the goal line. But in general, Lamar has such a broader skill set. Lamar's a better thrower. He's a more accurate thrower. He's a better runner. He's got better field vision. And I love Jalen. I'm not saying Jalen isn't a top 10 quarterback in that upper echelon still. But when you look at it, what the Eagles had done over the last 2 years until this kind of cratering, I mean, a lot of people were kind of saying, man, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, like they're doing what we thought the Ravens would do. They're doing. The Ravens had to go through their own minefield with injuries and the different things, but man, it's kind of amazing to see the rise of the Ravens after Lamar missing the last 5 games last year, losing that game they should have won against Cincinnati. The Eagles go to the Super Bowl. You know, Jalen had won, 20 of 21 games at one point, and that seems like 10 years ago now. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is. He is Femi Ayanbadejo. You can hear him along with the rest of the fun gang. Syreeta, the NFL chick, Glenn Clark, every once in a while myself, Josh Charles, Project Gameday. No Project Gameday this week. We should do something this week, though. After all the games are over, we should get the gang together just to analyze what we watched. But other than that,
you let me know.
That's a Glenn thing. He's on a boat somewhere. That's just me talking, having fun. Femi, thanks so much for joining us today, buddy, and I'll talk to you real soon.
All right, thank you.
There he is, Femi Ayanbadejo, former Raven, giving his analysis. So we're flying today. We're flying today. By the way, speaking of Project Game Day, Project Game Day will return in the divisional round of the playoff matchup. So one more week off. Let's see, Ravens get a buys, we get buys.
Yeah.
After the game, join Glenn, Rita, Femi, myself, Josh Charles, Andrew Steck, and the crew to discuss what went down. You can watch the show at facebook.com/PressBoxSports or at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline. Project Game Day is brought to you by AJ Michaels, Superbook Sports, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. By the way, speaking of Superbook, you can always go to Superbook right now. Okay, Super Wild Card Weekend, big betting weekend. Okay, use Glenn Clark 23 when you sign up at Superbook, and you receive up to $250 in same day first bet match, win or lose, doesn't matter. Download Superbook app or visit superbook.com to take advantage of this great offer. We've been having so much fun. This is flying by. We probably have to take a break.
We do have to hit a break.
Okay,
and we'll finish wrapping up picks, I guess. Recapping picks. We'll talk about Ken's NBA bets.
I had great NBA bets last night. I made some money last night. Prop bets. I don't bet games. Props. All props.
Okay. All right.
There you go.
Teach us how to do it.
Yeah.
We'll come back.
I'll try. When we come back, Glenn Clark Radio.
Hey Ravens fans, looking for the perfect new game day brew? Get a Guilford, Baltimore's finest craft beer during the next home game at the bank. That's not all. Gather your flock next home game and check out Guilford Hall Brewery's brand new bar, the Gilly Nest, located near Section 505. No tickets? No problem. Enjoy all Ravens games all season long at our restaurant and brewery in Station North. Guilford Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
Come for a game, stay for everything else. Book an unforgettable fall getaway in Charm City. Enjoy only in Baltimore festivals, mouthwatering eats, and endless entertainment. Treat yourself to a staycation in the heart of downtown, or try one of the city's many charming neighborhood hotels. And don't miss out on packages for free parking, breakfast, and more. Plan your stay at baltimore.org/hotels.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Jeremy Kahn here. The ultimate sports betting experience in Maryland is at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook. Join me at either location in Canton or in Towson and place your bets in person and be a part of the action. It's the best in-class sports wagering experience, complete with the ultimate TV package, ensuring you can catch every game all day, every day. Their state-of-the-art facilities bring Las Vegas energy right here to Maryland just in time for postseason football. So visit the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook in Canton and Towson and elevate your game day experience and hang out with me to bet, watch, and win at the Turtle.
Make sure you're tuned in every Tuesday for PressBox fantasy football analyst Joe Serpico to get you ready for your Waiver Wire Wednesday, brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. And if you have other fantasies you want fulfilled, subscribe to Glenn and Jeremy Kahn's OnlyFans page at... Wait, are people supposed to know about that?
They're probably not supposed to know about it, but, you know, if you do, you do.
Well, I guess the point is to know about it. So they
I mean, if it's your thing, it's your
profit
thing.
Off of it. That's the...
You know, I want everybody, though, right after this, before the rain comes, okay? Because apparently it's the apocalypse today. All the schools are closing early or canceling afternoon activities. So nobody has anything to do today. It's over. But I want you to check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today. They come in a range of models and trim lines so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. And I guarantee you, if you go there today, you probably won't have to wait. It's probably first come, first serve, real easy, because nobody's out. They're telling everybody to stay home. Hit the grocery stores because, who knows what tomorrow may bring. I saw people, saw animals lining up 2 by 2. Apparently this is real. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. By the way, my bets yesterday. So I did a 2-pick parlay. I took Chet Holmgren over his 18.8. By the way, picking over on players playing against the Wizards, very profitable.
Gotcha. So that's the way to go.
That's the way. I also took Tyler Hero over 22 points, 22.5 points, because Jimmy Butler was out. So that helped.
Yeah.
I then went over and took the Hero again because I was very confident with the Hero pick. And I put him in with Colin Sexton over 17.5 points in what was supposed to be a high-scoring game between the Jazz and the Bucks, which it was. Almost 250 scored in that game.
Jeez.
And I went with the over of James Harden assists, which was at 9.5.
Jeez. That seems like a high number. But he hit it easily?
He hit it. He had 10. I sweated it out a little bit. But he had 5, literally 5 in the first 5 minutes of the game. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I had to sweat it out. But I did that in a round robin. If you don't know what round robins are, look into them. You should do them more.
Do round robins. So so what, you had 6 picks or 5 picks? How many picks?
I did the round robin with 3, so 2 by 3. Okay. So what a round robin basically does, it protects you. Instead of doing a straight parlay for 3 picks, if one of your picks loses but the other 2 win, you still probably cover your initial bet. So you don't lose, you'll win $1 or 2.
Yeah.
Things like that. But what I like to do is not only do the round robin like I did, but then I like to play the same 3 with another bet just as a straight parlay. That parlay was plus 620. And that hit. I had a good night.
Yeah, you did.
I had a good night.
You did.
I had a good night. So I do parlays. I don't do games. I like player props. I don't like games, overs, unders. I'll do it every once in a while if I have a really good read on something. Like I don't know what I haven't looked at the line yet, but if the line is under 52 for Rams Lions, I would probably play the over. I could see a 30 to 24 game easy with that one. I don't know what the line is.
At the moment over at Superbook, it is 51.5.
See, I would play the over.
Okay.
I would feel pretty good about the over there. If it got above 52, But I'll play the over. But that is a game that I will probably do a same game prop bet.
And you'll look at like Stafford's yards.
And I'll look at Stafford's yards.
Monroe St. Brown.
And I'll probably do something like over 2 touchdowns from Stafford. Parlay it with over 2 touchdowns from Goff. Something with Puka. Probably the number of catches versus yards. Amon St. Brown's yards. Things like that. Like those 4 together. Probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of plus 600. And I'll do that as a round robin.
Gotcha.
So if one of them doesn't hit, I'm protected, and I probably win 2 of the 4. So,
all right, cool, makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense.
That's
smart.
Have fun with it. But by the way, what's Stan got going this week?
Stan has so Stan's been feeling a little under the weather. That's why we ended up not doing a show yesterday. Obviously, Stan hasn't sounded too good, but he's hopeful. He's getting better, and he should be in here later in the second half of the week, and we'll hear from him again. But yesterday he was on with Ross Grimsley and Luke Jackson as they talked a little Orioles. If you're craving some Orioles during this Ravens bye week, as they talked about what moves they'd like to see the Orioles make before spring training, because spring training is going to be right around the corner before we know it. It's about, I guess, like 6 weeks away. The last week of February is when they'll get things started down there in Sarasota. So if you're good conversation there between Ross, Luke, and Stan talking some Orioles and what else they need to get done before spring training starts.
I would say some starting pitching would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess offensively they're pretty strong, but
I
definitely, while Dylan C still is out there.
I mean,
it's
he
hard
is.
Not to
He's out there. He's the one out
talk
there.
about that one.
Yeah. Offensively, I don't think they need to do anything.
No. Yeah.
I mean, if everybody's coming back, which it seems like they are. I mean, they still have some.
It's like, are you worried about replacing Adam Frazier? I guess that's the
yes.
And you.
I think they got a couple
they
of
got some
think
young,
they have
youngsters.
some prospects.
Yeah.
You know what? It's going to be so much fun in spring training this year. I don't watch a lot of spring training. I'm going to watch a lot of it because we know these names now. Like we know them all. Like we know right now. Frazier's not coming back.
We
okay?
know the entire Tides
Ortiz, Mayo, and Norby. Which one is going to make the team? Because one of those guys got to make the team.
Yeah,
Westberg is the second baseman. Who's going to be shortstop? Is that when they come out?
Yeah.
Come north.
If he's tearing it up.
Henderson, Holiday, and Westberg. That's like 7 to 10 years. You're done.
Yeah.
Like you're done. Don't need anything else. Crazy.
You can find that video at youtube.com/PressBoxOnline/videos under the videos tab on the PressBox Sports YouTube page. Stan, Ross, and Luke talking Orioles.
Yeah. Like you said, Stan will be here at some point this week. If not, you have to deal with me.
Yeah, we're stuck with KZ. Stuck with KZ all week.
You're stuck with KZ. Hey, if we're not doing this for a while, let's get back to these picks.
Yes. I think we last talked about Indy blowing it against Houston in Lucas Oil. So now the Texans get to host a playoff game thanks to the Jags. We did not pick the Jags game, but the Jags they could not beat the Titans. So the Houston is the AFC. It became a default AFC South championship game.
They did. They're a fun young team, and they've dealt with their injuries too. I mean, Tank Dell is a huge injury for them this year. But if I'm going into next year with the Houston, however far they go, I feel good. I got my quarterback. I got 2 stud young wide receivers. Singleton looked really good this year.
Singletary,
sorry. They still have Pierce. Pierce looked great the year before.
Right.
Tight end, probably, Schultz was in and out of the lineup, a little bit banged up. Brevin Jordan didn't look bad. Improve that offensive line a little bit more. Add a couple of pieces on defense because defense got better and better as the year went on. Hey, they could be a problem in years to come.
It was going to be one of my tidbits, but it was D'Amico and C.J. Stroud became the first ever rookie quarterback and rookie head coach duo to win their division. First time that's ever happened in the NFL. You don't believe it?
We didn't win the division with Harbs and Flacco?
I don't believe so.
Went to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Won the Super Bowl.
They the AFC Championship.
AFC
right? Yeah, that was as a wild card, I believe.
Okay,
yeah.
Could be. Yeah, probably. Maybe it was the playoffs, the thing, but win the divisions.
I did say ever Super Bowl era. So
Super Bowl.
In the Super Bowl era, first rookie head coach quarterback duo.
The next game, for some reason, we had people, including you, taking Carolina.
Carolina will. I mean, if DJ Chark, if the stupid fumble,
that's
through the
true.
end zone,
That's
DJ
true.
Chark,
yeah, it could have been
a touchdown there.
Yeah.
Wasn't there another? I mean, I wasn't paying close attention because it's the Panthers and the Bucks, but wasn't there? I think there was another instance where Carolina could have scored, and did they miss a field goal or something?
I don't remember. But Tampa covered the 4.5.
Ugly game.
Ugly.
Holy
9-0.
Cow.
Just ugly. Just terrible to watch.
Carolina should have had the only touchdown in this game.
Should have. Good play by defense.
Yeah, I guess.
Trying to make a play.
Yeah, they forced them to make a mistake. And it's the Panthers, so they did.
Then Glenn tried to be cute in the next game. I mean, I know what Jeremy's doing at this point. He's just going against the public, but I don't know why Glenn tried to get cute here with with Minnesota, and Detroit was only laying 3.5. And Detroit came out and said, we're playing our starters. Now, in Detroit, you're having a conversation because you were trying to, if both Philly, who did lose, and Dallas had lost, which they didn't, you could have finished with the number 2 seed, which is worth getting sometimes. But as it turned out, you wound up with the 4 seed, the 3 seed anyway, and you won the game. You may have lost your stud tight end.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm not faulting him for doing it. Those things happen. I guess it was worth the risk in their eyes. They didn't want their players to sit out, but they, in a game that was probably closer on the scoreboard than it was in reality, I never felt like Detroit was ever in danger in this game. They kind of handled, what did it wind up 30-20?
Yeah, I believe that was
it
was
really
30-20.
Minnesota has to figure out their quarterback situation in the offseason. I think we like their weapons. You feel good with Hawkinson, Addison, and obviously Justin Jefferson as your wide receiver and tight end combo. Running back, Chandler showed some things. Madison showed some things. Could they get an upgrade there? Sure. But big question is, and especially for fantasy purposes, who's the quarterback?
Yeah.
Because he's not signed to your roster for next year right now. It's not Mullins. It's not going to be Dobbs, I don't think. Kirk's a free agent. I don't know. Next game, we were kind of split on Chicago, and Chicago have been playing so well, offensively and defensively, but Green Bay needed the game. And Green Bay played like they needed the game, and Chicago was awful.
Yeah, I was holding out hope that they'd put together a final drive there, and they just didn't. And yeah,
they kept on getting
what they had to do.
They kept on getting to the 45, the Packers 45, and then they stalled every time. So,
do you like Jordan Love? It's kind of how I feel.
I don't know, because he's played well. He's played well in spots, and every time you're ready to say, "Yep, we're right. He's the guy," and he's going to be the guy there. He has a stinker. And I don't know if it's because of injuries. They need a little bit of an upgrade. I don't know what they need. They need to be healthy. Okay? Both of the running backs were injured this year at different parts. Dylan and Jones. They could probably Dylan doesn't look like he's ever going to be the guy that they thought he was going to be. Jones is getting long in the tooth, but he's still productive. They could probably use some youth there. Reed looks like the real deal at wide receiver. Christian Watson can't stay healthy. I mean, we like him when we see him. I was disappointed in Dobbs this year. And Musgrove looks like a real deal when he's healthy at tight end. So they have some things there. Defensively, they need a brand new secondary. They're like 28th in the league defensively, which is why I don't like them at all going to Dallas.
Yeah.
Like you're
28th.
Yeah, you're 28th against the pass. I mean, they've been awful. So I think they have some issues going forward. Speaking about an awful game, Seattle, Arizona. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I just
Cardinals are. I guess as long as they've got Kyler Murray, they might be pretty good.
I don't know. Why are you trying to win? Why were you trying to win the game?
Well, because Jonathan Gannon's got to get his culture in there.
But you're ruining your draft pick. I'm sorry.
They decided they have their quarterback.
Okay, but give me a better pick so I can either trade it or I can make something of it.
They're still picking 4th overall.
I know they are now because they wound up losing the game by 1. But why are we giving effort?
Yeah, I guess they could have. So they could have had the 2 pick.
Right, right. I just don't understand. I'm sorry if the Ravens start out like 0-7 one year, and this won't happen. Just give me a pick. You're not making the playoffs. Just give me a pick. I don't want to pick in the 20s. Give me a top 10 pick. We know what the roster is.
Well, it's possible. I mean, the quarterbacks could go 1, 2, 3. So, quarterbacks should go 1, 2, 3.
Well, they will because of trades. I mean, Chicago's getting out of the 1. I mean, I'm sorry, Harrison's generational talent at wide receiver. He is. He just flat out is.
Yeah.
So if somebody who has a quarterback wants to take a quarterback up there, if Washington's going to take a quarterback, who's got the third pick?
New England.
New England's taking a quarterback for once in their lives. Take a quarterback. So it could go 1, 2, 3. Whoever gets to the number 1
And
pick.
the Cardinals could get Marvin Harrison there at 4.
Could.
So
Yeah.
maybe everything will work out.
Maybe. They need help at wide receiver.
Yes, they do.
They do. Because their top guy is never healthy. Which is why he's not in Baltimore. Dallas took care of Washington. I didn't. What are y'all doing?
It was a road game for the Cowboys.
What are you? It's Washington.
Maybe they would have rested up a little bit.
More people were on. All you people were on Washington. Look at how many of you.
I
1,
thought
2,
Riverboat
3,
Ron was going to have a little more
5
magic.
5 of you on Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I had to be on Washington. I don't know why everybody else was, honestly.
And then, your picks are different. Again, Glenn trying to be the smartest guy in the room with the next game, Buffalo, Miami. We just saw Miami. Like, they were here, and they got more injured, and Buffalo's playing great, and you're thinking that Miami going to win that game? Come on.
Speaking of Miami, just going out and getting Justin Houston as of a couple minutes ago. I guess at this point they kind of need bodies on the rush.
Look, you need any veteran that has shown any type of juice at all. Might as well. You have nobody because your replacements aren't getting it done. So they need some help. We saw Houston here. He can play.
Yeah.
He can still play. So we'll.
Guess he stayed in shape. I guess stayed in shape enough. Football shape.
See
if he does
anything. How many did he play in the league this year at all?
No.
He hasn't been in the league all year.
I believe he is not.
Huh. Yeah. Well.
So
he better be in good shape. But and then the last game was a bunch of us picked with our hearts. We knew the Ravens were.
Oh, I'm sorry. He was with the Panthers until week 8.
Okay, till week 8. Yeah. So he should be in decent shape.
Yeah. Then he got hurt, and then they released him halfway through December.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, my fault.
He should be okay. And then a bunch of us took Baltimore. That's stupid. We knew.
I know. Well, I thought I convinced myself they were going to win.
I convinced myself they were going to win as well, or be close because Pittsburgh, and it was close. It was a 1-score game. Call it what it is. The Steelers made one play all day.
Yeah.
And that was it. And that's all they need to make. And that's fine. I still don't know what Marcus Williams is doing. What's he doing?
So he was,
What's he doing?
He was just moving to the right, I guess, when maybe Mason Rudolph looked him off real hard.
I was so happy when they signed him. I've been very disappointed
with Marcus Williams.
Yeah.
This season,
I know.
Last year he
I know the injury.
Really
I know the injuries have set him back.
But this season has been very disappointing for Marcus Williams. So it would be nice if Kyle Hamilton is this essentially a 3-week rest for him does really works out.
Yeah. Look, it's going to help everybody out. It's going to. Kyle Hamilton being healthy again, and hopefully having 3 weeks off. Hey, it's got to help.
Yeah.
It's yeah. Can't wait. It's just such a long wait because it seems. It really seems like it's a month because this week didn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just
we just haven't had. We're not gonna have Ravens football to care about.
And like Femi said, it's like it's such a different team, but 29. It's like we all have it back of our head, little place where we want to get it away, and it's such a different team, such a different coaching staff, but 2019, man, still scary. So for the week, just to recap, John Keller and Ryan Shell.
Yeah, Ryan Shell.
Along with Kyle Ottenheimer, led the way at 7-2. Yours truly and Paul Valley were 6-3, and low man on the totem pole was Andrew Stecca at 2-7. He went from first to tied with me for third. And whoever's doing this, is John from Little Rock doing this?
It's John Proctor.
John Proctor.
He's done a great job.
You've done a great job. What's up with this formulas? Why are we all under 50% all of a sudden? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Get figured out, John. Jeez.
I mean, come on. I like to. I was going to make this big thing how everybody, like if you had bet with us, most years, if you bet with us, you lose. We got 4 or 5 of us over 55%.
I could go through and add the zeros in so everything goes back to
It's
normal.
okay.
But
It's
John
okay.
gets mad at me whenever I touch.
I don't want anybody touching it.
I don't want to.
I don't want to touch it. But all of a sudden, like I came in today, I'm like I'm 92 and 100. How the hell did that happen?
Lost 30 games this week.
Lost 30 games. Like what the hell's going on there? But if you've bet along with us with our picks, you're in the money this year.
Man, I think I would have if I had just gone against, I guess all of my picks.
Well,
if I just done the opposite all season,
you'd win it.
You'd
be in first place.
I don't think I'd be in first place. I think
you've had
no. John's had a good year,
but you have 76 wins.
Yeah. Well, so hold on, it would be like 116 minus 27. I think is my actual loss counts.
So how many wins would you have?
I would have 89 wins.
Okay, but okay.
So I'd still be
that's
bad.
I'd still really
be battling. I'd still be battling it out.
So even if you've gone completely George Costanza and picked the opposite,
I'd still be bottom 3.
You'd still be bottom 3. That's how bad of a season you've had. That really puts it in a nutshell right there. Even if you've done exactly the opposite of every thought you had,
can't do anything.
There would be
I
nothing.
Just can't move
There'd
right
be
now.
nothing good about it. You need a new formula.
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know how to pick games. I was bad last year, but I was I just wasn't that bad. And this year it's just.
I don't.
Fortunately, everybody was bad last.
So
year.
there was. I've always been middle of the pack. I don't think I've ever won it, except for the one year that Glenn and I were actually at the bottom of the table. But this is when there was only like 5 or 6 of us, so it was.
Less room for
less room for error.
Yeah.
And we had to go to the Super Bowl game, and we were playing head games with each other, and I said to him, I'm going to tell you, I don't lie. I don't. If I may be wrong, but if I tell you what I'm doing, I'm going to do it. And so I told him the entire time that I was taking Tampa. I think it was Tampa, Kansas City was the Super Bowl.
Was it the COVID year then?
I don't know what year it was.
2 or 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
So I told him the whole time, and he's like, "You're messing with me." I said, "I'm not." I said, "I'm telling you, because if we picked the same, he lost." And I said, "No, I'm telling you." I was like, "I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do." He's like, "Oh, you're not doing it." I was like, "Okay," and I did exactly what I told him I was going to do. Pick Tampa, and he wound up the loser. I was like, it's like, damn, because I thought you were playing mind games. I said, I don't play mind games. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm going to do.
Good job.
If it's good enough,
job.
If it's good enough to do it, it's good enough to do it. Anything on TV tonight, or do we have to take a break?
Oh, yeah, we do need to take one more break, and then we will talk about television tonight.
Let's take our final break, because it's already 12:09, and we keep on talking, and you don't stop me. So you're listening to Clock Radio. We'll be right back.
Hey, it's Jeremy Kahn. This postseason, bet in person at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks with locations in Canton and in Towson, and enjoy the best in-class sports wagering experience at their state-of-the-art facilities, bringing an unmatched sports betting thrill.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4, available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
There's so much focus on sports betting these days, but I want to talk about an area that nobody wants to gamble on, where you choose to go out and spend your hard-earned dollars to eat. The Costas Inn is no gamble at all. The quality on their menu is outstanding, and the value is off the charts with a great and varied list of specials Monday through Friday. And the staples of the menu, whether it's salads, burgers, fish, they're all fantastic. And I haven't even mentioned the crabs or crab cakes yet. So check out the menu for yourself at CostasInn.com. When choosing a place to dine, never gamble on the food you put in your belly. The Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or call 410-477-1975 for reservations and your steamed crab orders.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis, ajmichaels.com.
Come for a game, stay for everything else. Book an unforgettable fall getaway in Charm City. Enjoy only in Baltimore festivals, mouthwatering eats, and endless entertainment. Treat yourself to a staycation in the heart of downtown, or try one of the city's many charming neighborhood hotels. And don't miss out on packages for free parking, breakfast, and more. Plan your stay at baltimore.org/hotels.
Don't forget about Project Game Day after every Ravens game this season. It's kind of like this show, except Rita's also there, so I actually think it's pretty good. But hey, you're already here now, so why don't you go ahead and keep listening to GCR?
Hey, we're back. Welcome back. We don't even have to read any ads.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We've done
been on
so
top of
well with the ads that we don't have to read anything right now. So, what's on TV tonight?
Before we do that, I want to get a quick tidbit in.
Okay, tidbit.
Okay
Yep.
with you.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Okay, so I said that I did our CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans one. Hold on, I had a. This is when I should be prepared, I guess. Our national champion won. Okay, so Michigan, of course, won yesterday. They held all 14 of their opponents this season to under 25 points. The last team to hold, they held all 15 opponents because they did win, of course, and held Washington under 25. The last time a team in FBS held 15 different opponents to under 25 points in a single season was
University of Miami.
No, not Miami. It would have been back in 1903.
1903?
The last time this happened.
Notre Dame.
Not Notre Dame.
Navy.
Not Navy. You want to keep going?
No.
The Minnesota Gophers.
Oh, never would have gotten there.
In 1903.
1903.
Last time we saw a defense like Michigan's, I guess, is what that tells us.
Sure.
Also, the AFC North, of course, the first division in NFL history. Well, okay, not NFL. Since 1935, the first time a division, all 4 division members are over 500 in the AFC North this season.
Packers. No, just kidding.
Very rare. Very rare.
Yeah, rare. Very rare.
AFC North. So this one, I guess I'll do this one for my quick question for you. So so this one actually came from JJ Zachariason on he does a bunch of fantasy stuff,
Yep.
but he sent out a chart of the best, the most improved team year over year in terms of offensive touchdowns per a game this season. Do you know who would be the most improved in terms of offensive touchdowns from 2022 to 2023?
Houston Texans.
Not the Houston Texans. They were top 5.
Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens were number 1.
Wow.
They were averaging under 1.94 touchdowns a game, offensive touchdowns a game last year.
Was that bad?
3.12. And that was the best difference, 1.18 difference. Do
Wow.
you know who the worst would have been?
So who regressed?
Yes, who regressed the worst?
Carolina Panthers. I mean, they were awful this year.
Yeah, well, they were already pretty bad last year.
I know,
so
but they were really bad this year.
They did regress, but they did not regress the most. They were bottom 4. Carolina was.
I mean, they barely scored this year. Let's see. Who was bad this year? Washington was bad. Arizona Cardinals, because they were bad. They were
they
better
bad for
last-
a while. Arizona they were middle of the pack here. They actually progressed.
Really?
They went from 1.88 touchdowns to 2.06 touchdowns a game.
Okay, just give it to me.
I want you to keep guessing. Give me one more guess. The worst offense year over year.
I know that's
So,
Chicago Bears.
Think about who was good last year was bad this year, not the Bears.
Okay.
It was the Kansas City Chiefs.
That makes sense. See, but I don't. See, they were bad this year, but they weren't that bad. But they were probably so good last year.
3.47 touchdowns a game last year.
They were probably so good.
2.18. Yeah, 2.18. And then okay, so rookie defensive tackles in the last 20 seasons with 9+ sacks. This season, Kobe Turner joined that list. There have been only 2 other rookie defensive tackles with 9 sacks their rookie season in the last 20 years.
I have no idea.
One of them is on his same team.
Is on his same team?
It was on Kobe Turner's team. This team.
Who's Kobe Turner play for?
You don't know who Kobe Turner? He plays for the Rams. Plays for the Rams.
Oh, Donald.
Aaron Donald, yes. In 2014, his rookie year, had 9 sacks.
Is he a defensive end?
He's defensive tackle. So that's why. So that's, and then the other one, he was the 2nd overall pick in 2010, and came away with 9 sacks his rookie year. It would be Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh is the list that Kobe Turner joins this year. Aaron Donald,
impressive.
Suh.
That's an impressive list.
It is. Okay, now we can get to we'll go to totally tubular. Sports wise, not a whole lot. The Maryland women are in action. They're taking on Michigan State at 6:00 on the Big Ten Network. Big Ten basketball also on Peacock. The men, Indiana and Rutgers at 7. Purdue and Nebraska at 9. That's on Peacock. FS1 has Seton Hall, Georgetown, and then New Mexico, UNLV. All the other college basketball go to Glenn Clark Radio. Duke and Pitt play at 9. Otherwise, the Oilers Blackhawks will be on ESPN Plus at 8:30. NBA TV has Grizzlies Mavs at 8:30, and then WWE NXT, which I have to mention for Glenn, is on the USA Network at 8:00. Non-sports wise, it was actually a pretty busy night. New episode of Fargo, the penultimate episode of Fargo on FX. Are you a Fargo guy, Ken?
I don't watch anything but really sports.
Oh, okay. Good for you.
I really once Ted Lasso went off, I haven't found another that I watch.
Pete Davidson's got a special coming out on Netflix today.
Fantastic.
The series premiere of Echo. This is like the.
So I've seen this one. So I don't know Marvel well.
This is.
But this seems weird to me.
Yeah, it is weird. It's so this is Kingpin. I think it's the story of Kingpin. And apparently there's not a lot of hope. They don't think it's going to be very good actually, because they're doing. Disney doesn't typically do this, but they're releasing all the episodes at once. And so I think their hope is that like everyone won't be talking about it week by week over week, because they don't think it's going to be very good.
So they're doing the whole series.
Yeah,
like
everything's dropping tonight.
I can just binge watch it.
Correct.
How many episodes?
I believe there's only 5.
That's not bad.
5 or 6.
So an hour.
Yeah.
They're an hour apiece?
I want to say they're a little less than an hour, but yes.
So I can knock this out.
You could, yeah.
I'm not going to.
It is the season finale of Hard Knocks in season with the Dolphins.
Oh, gotta watch it now.
Yeah.
Gotta watch it now.
After they fell apart. Fallon's going to have Kevin Hart and Josh Hutcherson tonight. Dua Lipa will be on Seth Meyers. As the late nights all return, Jodie Foster will be on Kimmel. I'm sure. I guess Kimmel was back last night. I guess he didn't make any big rebuttals or something. Or
didn't
outside
he do
of his Twitter? Did he have a rebuttal?
I thought he had a monologue.
Oh, he did. I'm sure he did. I guess.
I
didn't.
I thought he kind of went
care
at
to
it.
seek it out.
I don't care either.
Charles Barkley will be on Stephen Colbert tonight.
He's entertaining. I like Charles.
Those are your non-sports highlights. So that is all for Totally Tubular and Tidbit and in our Tuesday edition here of Glenn Clark Radio.
So it sounds like NXT for me or no TV at all.
You got NBA TV. The Mavs in over there playing the Grizzlies. I guess no John Morant, so a little less to look for.
They lasted long.
What is that?
He lasted long.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Torn labrum.
Terrible.
It is terrible. You're saying it like you're almost saying it like
No, it's terrible.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
I'm serious. He's a great star. It's terrible.
You don't like college basketball?
You know what?
I love college basketball. I love my weeknights.
So I love college basketball. I haven't gotten into it yet because I've just been. It's really difficult for me outside of the NFL when I'm doing fantasy stuff. So I really haven't gotten into anything yet. This may be an opportunity for me to get into it. I'll probably seek out the Lady Terps tonight. I'm a big supporter of Miss Freeze and her program.
They play at 6, so it'll be nice early night as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Are they at home or away?
Good question. I think they are away. They're in East Lansing.
Good. So it won't get canceled because of Armageddon. Won't see pigs flying outside, blowing in the wind. Swear. There goes 2 crocodiles right by our door.
Picking up. I guess we should get out of here so we can get out of
here.
There you go. In one piece.
I hope it's not bad. I really hope it's not bad. But I've never seen a rain forecast like this in my life in Baltimore. I mean, outside of a hurricane, outside of like whether it's a hurricane or tornado watch, I've never. People are canceling all the activities. Like everybody's canceling
for rain. Yeah, it is. Seems a little.
I'm like, I'm gonna go home and clear my gutters. I'm serious. I'm serious. It's funny because if this were snow, I'd have no faith in it whatsoever because we always get the snow forecast wrong.
Yeah.
But because it's rain, it's like, I guess it's gonna rain.
Yeah, they can't get it wrong.
So what we got coming up tomorrow?
Tomorrow we will check in with PFF Gordon.
Awesome.
Been covering the Ravens all season for PFF. Talk some NFL with him.
Yes.
And our buddy Joe Serpico will stop by as well.
I can't wait to talk Joe. Joe's a big Eagle guy.
You let him know how his season ended 5 weeks ago, and
I don't want to hear what the hell is going on. No, because I'm serious. I mean, they're the best team in football through 11 weeks. You were saying, like they're sure
Eagles are back.
They're going to the Super Bowl again. Their revenge tour. They're going to win it this time. It's like, I mean, awful. The Giants had nothing to play for.
Yeah, it was, and they barely beat them once, and then couldn't do it yesterday. Or I keep saying yesterday, Sunday. So that'll be tomorrow on the program.
Yeah.
Big thank you today to all of our sponsors, of course. Superbook, PressBox, of course, Stan the Fan, Project Gameday, Toyota Tacoma, as well as the Casas Inn, AJ Michaels, Guilford Hall Brewery, Royal Farms, Visit Baltimore, and all of our good friends, of course. Of course, Femi and Rita. We'll get
absolutely.
We'll get those also up on. You're supposed to say we'll get those up in. So leave me. You gotta set me
archives.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Archives.
But I say. Oh my God, it's so good. Tab.
Oh, okay.
Didn't really hit today.
Sorry. I'll do better. I'll do better tomorrow. I'll do better tomorrow. It's tough. I it's not like riding a bicycle. Takes me a little bit.
We got there.
We got there.
Well done. Good show.
It was quick. We got till almost 12:30. I didn't think we were gonna get that long.
Yeah, we did.
Glenn was telling me, he goes, you only have to do an hour and a half. I was like, why?
Easier today. I guess we had all the NFL to recap as well.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow we have good guests and make fun of people and talk to Joe about his Eagles and what his fantasy takes were from the year and some of his
best and worst.
Some of his best and worst. Best thing I did this year was all over Puka preseason.
I'm glad I got Kyron Williams. He saved my life.
Oh,
Kyron Williams.
Pickup of the year.
Yeah.
Pickup of the year. He was special. Tony Pollard, dud of the year. I don't care what else happened.
I had in my so I won one of my leagues, my other home league. I had Saquon and Pollard as my running backs all year. And
I won. How many leagues did I win? I won 3.
Wow.
3.
How many leagues are you in?
20.
20. Okay. Yeah, I mean that.
Not bad. I made. What
good percentage?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made 8 playoffs out of 20, which But I played dynasty. A lot of those are dynasty, not just redraft.
Gotcha.
I made the playoffs in all 5 of my redraft, and I won.
Wow, you're in a ton of dynasty.
2 of them. Yeah, I'm in a lot of dynasty. You get bored with.
Why don't you keep playing redraft? Well, if you won 2 of your 5 redraft,
I know I did. that's pretty good.
Yeah, you should do more redraft.
I won my biggest league, and that's the biggest. That's the most important.
That
thing.
it always is.
Always is.
I won my biggest league as well. So
and I beat the one of the leagues I won, I beat my son. So that would have been devastating to me if I had lost that championship.
And you're going to get a trophy this year.
And I get a trophy. I won a national contest. I won You can never say I suck at fantasy football again because I'm getting a Razzball trophy. If you don't know what that is, look it up. It's a national Razzball. It's a national contest. It's really weird. You draft your teams, and it's 9 weeks of best ball, and then from week 9 through 17, you have to put in your lineups, and you can't make any moves anymore. It's a tough league. You have to be good. You have to be good at drafting, and then you have to be good at fantasy football. It's like, yeah. I can't wait.
Well done.
I can't wait. It's going on my mantle.
So it won't come this week, will it?
I don't know.
Okay. If it comes this week,
I don't know. I don't know when they're sending it.
Okay.
I can't wait. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
All right. Well, thank you, Ken.
It's big. Yeah. We'll put it right there so you can't see Glenn anymore. Hey, thanks for walking me through this.
No problem. Thank you.
You've been listening to KZ and Griff, Glenn Clark Radio. Guess what? We're going to do it again tomorrow. Everybody have a good day.